Hi, everybody. This is a pokercoaching.com study session. We are studying cash games and we are looking at multi-way spots using our new DTO multi-way tool. All right, Larry's got a spot.
Hey, you too. Also, I'd like to mention if you are enjoying this video,
Then something's wrong with you.
or you could just like and subscribe.
You can do that too. People are, by the
Uh,
way, people have actually subscribed to this.
yeah, a
Anyone
couple have gone
subscribed?
viral, haven't they?
Yeah, you could also join us instead of subscribing. Go on Discord to the pokercoaching.com Discord. That is open to the public. And we post it. We do this every Monday and Tuesday. All right.
Yeah, so this is nine-handed. I think that goes four ways, so it won't be exact, but I was definitely implementing some of the stuff we worked on yesterday. And we'll see what happens here. So I'll open a little bit smaller, nine-handed, early position. Um,
And
got checks.
that adjustment is GTO approved. What do we like about it? About opening smaller from earlier positions?
What I've heard is that the likelihood of us getting three bet is higher in early
Hmm.
position. And so to me, that means a three bet, the cost of continuing on a three bet is going to be a little bit smaller.
Okay.
Whereas the value of opening bigger towards a later position is that you are going to win the blinds uncontested, which is one of the goals of poker, obviously.
Gotcha.
So bigger later because we can win the blinds more easily, more less people behind. Smaller earlier because will reduce the cost of calling a three bet. And
Now,
also, if we get three bet and we have a hand we can't call, we lose less.
right. And I see the adjustment, not adjustment. I see the logic behind it is that our range is already tighter in the earlier positions. Therefore, we don't need to push people out of the pot. We just have less junk. And the later we get, the wider our range gets, the more oomph our bet needs.
Yeah, that's a good point. That makes sense as well.
I
Absolutely.
don't do it. Yeah, I don't do it yet. I just use this straight 2.5 from everywhere.
Yeah, I only do it in this early position. It actually changes very quickly when you move up in your stack size. Uh, if we look at GTA Wizard, they're not going to implement this varied sizing at 150 big blinds. They're going to go 2.5 from all positions.
Okay,
I know that's true for six max. I'm not sure for nine max, but for six max, that's true.
gotcha. All right.
All right, so I think this goes four ways. We flop well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think this is a almost a check range spot against four people. Obviously, this is we're in unsolvable territory, but I think I'm going to check a lot here. What do you guys think?
I think that this is different. I think that the two blinds have check range. I think you with only one player behind have some bets here.
Yeah, especially I guess at very top of range, right?
Right. And this board, given that this board is fine for your range, two high cards, no ace, no king is not great, but two high cards is good enough for your range to support a bet. So I think you're going to have some bets here. Um, and the fact that the board is wet and the board is two-tone, all those I think add to giving you have a betting range, and middle set's going to be in that betting range, but it's not going to be pure. It's also going to
Yeah,
be a check raise. But I think it's not I don't think it's ever going to be a check call slow play multi-way. I think you're going to always check raise it when you check it if you get the chance to. That's my prediction. We'll see.
yeah. So that's exactly what I did. I check raised. So I checked. Um,
Uh,
go ahead.
I think it's yeah. So I kind of agree with what Scotty was saying. I think Sauber is gonna probably maybe have a mostly bet in this spot here on the flop, and then some check raises because it's so multi-way, and you want to get value from ace, suit cards, stuff like that.
Yeah,
uh,
without,
first draw.
And before we go on, Joey, your mic is super low. That's why we couldn't hear you.
oh, give me a second then.
Mhm.
Yeah. Push a button. Move into another room. All right. Can you fixed it, Joey?
Is that better?
Yeah, that's way better. All right.
Okay. Yeah, what I was trying to say is that what I've noticed on the solver is when we're in earlier position, like when we were looking at low jack versus button,
Mm-hmm.
they bet more often than we expected. So I think on this board, being so far away from the button, meaning we have a stronger and better range, we will have some bets.
So the thing you noticed in our study yesterday was that the low jack bets more than the cutoff did, and that it wasn't the boards were different, it was the position was different.
Yeah, there was
Okay.
a couple boards where the low jack would check, but even at that, they were still betting more often than similar boards with the cutoff.
Okay, that's a great thing. Let's look at that when we go to the solver, because I didn't notice that. So that's a great observation. Hopefully it's true. Okay. Anybody else
Yeah.
before we go on?
Yeah, so I think I can do either here. One takeaway I have, or one thing that CG mentions a lot, is if you want to build a pot, the best way to do it is to check raise. And so I didn't have any particular reads on this person, but I know that oftentimes a short stacker will stab in this situation. He just reads level 1. Oh, you checked, you missed.
Mhm.
So I chose check. We get what we want. We get the bet
Right. And a big one.
and a big one. Yeah. You get two. And so here, I don't think there's any slope. I think that
No.
against two ranges on this texture, I think we fast by.
Absolutely. And along with it just being the right thing to do, I think that in the wild, what we see here a lot is if both players call, player 1913 checks, shuts down on the turn. So if he's on a draw, he doesn't bet his draw into two players. He takes the free card. If he's on a bluff, he doesn't continue to bluff after he gets two calls. So the idea of I'll check raise the turn instead of the flop is not going to happen too often. Too
Yeah, that's a
often
good point.
check behind you.
Yeah.
So the check raise here is perfect.
Yeah, if we chose to slow play here, 1913 often will. You're right. Check back,
Yeah.
try to realize equity with two
Yeah.
callers. The only other question is sizing. So sizing against two players in a big bet in a multi-way spot. I mean, we're kind of in la la land here, but I think our options are either 15 or 20. Maybe 25 is really spicy, but 25 kind of gets an awkward SPR. What sizing would you guys use here? 15 to 20, I see in chat. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I did. I used 15. And we get two callers. So
I
now
think
we
I would go.
go ahead, Skate.
No, I was gonna say excuse me, three people started talking at the same time. That maybe yeah, like I would do at least 20 because of the player 3270. To try to get a heads up more often. Yeah, 20 and up.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I think 20 makes sense here. And so, yeah, so now it's very interesting to have two different stack sizes that we're playing against. I really didn't know where to go with this. So,
I would go 2E for your stack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is about 24-ish, something like that.
yeah, I could see that. That seems like a good size. I want a little smaller.
So Joey was mentioning a two, like a two street hand. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm thinking of. It's gonna like we're gonna take either get it all in on the turn or like take it down on the turn. And I think this bet is letting him kind of realize in a way
Or
the turn.
No, one correction, Skate. 2E at this point means how do we bet to get it all in two more streets such
Right.
that the percentage of the pot is about the same each time? Because that we're making it the hardest for them to fold. So we're not trying to take it down on the turn. And we're not trying to prevent somebody from getting there with a flush. We're
But
making it smooth.
we did see that the solver DTO likes pot size or double pot size, so
Yeah.
a shove would still be within that range for DTO.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. I'm curious what it'll do here.
Yeah. Well, DTO is
Um,
going to DTO, we believe, is programmed to only give us a pot size here.
Yeah, they built those
Extra pot.
solves with pot size bets here.
Yeah.
I don't really see a pot size bet as. I mean, the way I'm 2E is great and smooth calling does make smooth betting does make sense. I'm also kind of motivated to understand what humans with their draws are going to call. What's this human who now has? I want to keep in the fish here. What's this human in button going to call with his flush draw? With a pot with a point, what's he have? A 0.75 or
He
0.7
should call a
SPR.
shove.
Yeah, he should call a shove. That's true. So I could have gone a little bit bigger here. I think you guys have a good point. I think 24 would have been better. But I went this size. We do get two calls. So obviously these guys are on I think probably mostly on draws. So this card looks scary, but I mean King Queen is definitely possible, or Ace King is not possible, I don't think.
That is
Hmm.
Ace King with a heart.
But then
King
these
with a
guys would
heart.
have had to flat Ace King.
Yeah, they do. We've seen it.
Yeah,
So,
maybe the button might.
We've seen
Yeah.
people do it.
But
yeah,
yeah, I
it's
mean,
possible.
Yeah. But I don't think it's likely.
So we have two options here. We shove or check. What are you guys doing?
Shove every time.
yeah, to get value from two pairs. I mean, I don't believe people have much straights here, like the 8-9s. I think like a 9 or 8 on the river would have been a little bit more concerning, because combo draws might have gone in there, but not so much the 10.
Yeah, I think only 8-9 of hearts maybe continues. Maybe my size
Yeah.
did allow 8-9 without hearts to continue. I'm not sure. Probably it did. Probably it did. Yeah, so I shoved and we get default.
Okay.
So questions are really around the check raise here and sizing.
You see, I think one possible error in your thought process on the turn was how much is somebody else going to call with a draw? And you were trying to mathematically figure out how much you would call with a draw, where other player, is this still 10 no limit or did you move up?
It's 20 no limit.
20 no limit? Still 20 no limit, that like you might be giving them a bit too much credit for thinking that they'll call 20, but then they'll throw the brakes on at 25. Where I think more players are just playing, I have a flush draw, I'm not folding yet. Unless you
Yeah,
make it super ridiculously large.
yeah, I could see that. So I think a 24 is a good size here. I think this could have been bigger. I think a half pot would have been a good size here.
on the river, Skate's talking about not shoving the river, and the one thing I'm confident on this hand is that the river is a shove. And here's why. It's when they have a straight, you are going to go broke. I mean, you're going to go broke against 111 and you're going to lose against 3750. But you're going to lose the hand and you're going to lose the maximum chips because they're going to bet the maximum, if you bet at all. And you have to call. You're not folding a set here because you could be up against, I can give you value hands that you beat.
I kind of see what you're saying. Like, if you're beat, you're going to be beat anyways, and the hand's going to be raised. It's going to go on in either way. So,
Right.
so
So
just
you can't, exactly. You can't afford to win 20 chips here and lose 80 with your bet every time. That, you only win 20 when you win, but when you lose, you always lose 80.
Yeah, Scotty makes a good point. So
Yeah.
they're gonna call a two pair. So you
And when-
wanna win those extra chips the times they have two pair.
Yeah.
Are the times they have sixes, are the times they have are,
Right.
maybe seven.
okay.
Right.
Can you
Well,
make
and
it
all that are
50
right.
on the turn?
He bet small on the turn. He bet 18. Yeah, so we were talking about a bigger bet on the turn. And one of them is you bet player 19, 13 all in. You just choose 37 because you get him all in, and that's enough money from 3270. And the other one is you do exactly 2E, and 2E was around 24, 25. All right, let's take a
Yeah,
look
you
at
guys
this.
have made good arguments for a bigger size on turn. Alright, so
Yeah.
should we put this in the magic
Yeah.
solver?
Let's
Well,
put it in.
before we do that, can we care about, I think you said Skate wasn't shoving. What's the rationale?
Oh yeah. Scotty just went over it. He was in, from what I understood, the times that so the amount of chips that you miss for value out of the times that you are beat, is it's gonna make the hand more of a shove, because I mean, if you bet smaller and he raises all in, you're priced into call, so you're gonna call anyway. So just shove all in to get the value when you're not beat.
Queen Jack 8, was it two-tone?
It was six of diamonds, it was two
Perfect.
tone.
Look at it, we got
Yeah,
it.
that's really close. That's really close.
Really close. Now, the difference here, we are in the low jack as opposed to I think we were low jack -1 or low jack -2. There was an extra caller and the guy we're playing against is small blind, not big blind, but it's
No,
multi-way.
it
It's-
was the big blind. The small
was it?
blind
Okay.
folded the flop.
Gotcha. So we have an extra caller in there and like that. And our other guy, was our guy the button or was he the cutoff?
Use a
But-
button, so we're really close here.
It was really close. Okay. So as we've learned, we don't even need to look at the big blind's range. Big blind checks range. That's programmed into the solve. And I see no reason to go against that, ever. Now, after he checks, not a check range and a significant amount of bets. 24%. And with that, Jacks does exactly what you thought. It mixes bets and checks. More checking than betting.
I think you said something that we can confidently get behind when we were looking at the hand.
Yeah.
Whether it bets or checks, it's going to mix. I don't think we've really seen anything where on the flop a hand was 100% one thing or 100% other when the low jack does have betting with that hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it's a
that.
betting hand, we can also confidently say that checking is also a viable option.
Right. And the check raise is going to happen if people are playing GTO. 63% of the time, we're going to get our check raise in. So good. And taking a look at his range here, he bets some real not. So he bets 6-5 on this board. I don't know why this is a good idea for him, given when the other people are playing the way they are.
Yeah, so this is it's incongruent with the with the strategy of the OOP player.
Yeah.
It's incongruent with strategy of low jack.
But it's GTO, and I think,
This is the in position player, right? The button.
yeah, this is the button. So the button bets all his, butts second pairs, draws, all his top, all, most
Yeah,
of
this
his,
just doesn't, it doesn't totally feel like equilibrium because of the amount of checking that's happening with low jack.
yeah. And here he is with the 8-9. We'll see what he continues with. And
So is the 8-9 a flush draw, or is it just 8-9?
say again,
Is 8-9 a flush draw?
all the 8-9s do it some. The flush draw does it the least. Oh no, I'm sorry, that we were the heart. I said that wrong.
Well, in
The
8-9, I mean, everybody else doesn't. The only other one is the backdoor flush draw.
yeah, the backdoor flush draw does it, and
The
the
other
other
two don't
put a
really do it.
sliver.
Scotty, is this smaller than yesterday or did my eyes get worse?
It's smaller than yesterday, unfortunately, and I'm gonna have to, and let me see if I can, I can fix that, I think, here. Let me see, will it let me? Yeah, there we go. It's smaller because I have to do something on my screen resolution to do the video work that I'm doing this week. And if
Oh,
I
okay.
change it, something will screw up, so I have to work on a smaller screen this whole week. But here, we fixed that. I've made it absolute just to show that ace king is there. In the solver, ace king does a reasonable amount of flatting
That's in this solver.
in this solver, right?
Right, and it's going to be
oh,
mostly on the button. Excuse me. Correct. On the button, not the big blind.
say again.
The flatting's going to come mostly from the button, not the big blind, I assume.
I don't think the big blind has any ace king. Let's go. I'll go.
Yeah,
look at,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah. Let's go look at it again in GTO world.
When you look at this bottom pair thing, I just see a lot of bottom pair get bluffed. I mean, when you're betting your six, you're not doing it for value. You're doing it as a bluff.
Yeah.
And to a lesser extent, or maybe even to a large extent, to fold out equity.
Mhm.
But it's got a backup plan. And so I think that when you're looking, I mean, so you're on the button, right? And I know that in the real hand, it was maybe more, but there were two other people they've already checked. You have all the advantages. I mean, so you're going to bet with a fairly wide range. I think it was 60%, right?
Right. And you're betting small. You're betting small to take down a nice pot.
Yeah, and so you got to find a lot of bets here, and so
Yeah.
this is one of these. I can't find enough bets. It is surprising. I would expect almost more of that on a rainbow board, but I guess when you're looking for that many bets, you got to find them.
Well,
I was
Queen
just
Jack
surprised.
is a really good board for the button caller.
Queen Jack 6.
Yeah,
That's a really good board. He called an opening, right?
yeah.
It's this region. He's got a lot in this region here. We'll go look at it again. But skate, there's your answer. Yes, the big blind in DTO has 0 ace king. But the
Yeah, I
button,
would think like 9, 8, 5 would be a
Yeah.
better board for the in position.
right. So now back here, yeah, look at how concentrated he is. He's got this garbage, which has suits. This is all dead. But this is his region. King, queen, queen, jack.
Isn't it everybody's region? I mean, isn't it like the opener has that too, right?
Yes, but what I mean is look at what he doesn't have.
I mean, the button
Maybe
flatter
maybe-
should
maybe I'm
have,
foolish.
well, let's look at combos. Let's get an answer. So he's got 75 combos, right? How many combos does LoJack have? LoJack should have 150 combos or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, LoJack has those hands, but he has more combos that miss too, because he has all the suited aces. LoJack.
could have suited kings down to
He's
5.
gonna
to-
have suited nines. He's gonna have like king 5 suited and better.
Yeah, in GTO, this is going to be a much more condensed range than LoJack.
All right.
And look at his aces. Look at how often he has them. This is all, these are partials and this starts getting, this is all partial too. All right, I'm full of shit.
I really, I mean, I just think that a middling board is a little bit better for the imposition caller than two low broadways. I will say the two low broadways are better than kings and eights. I agree with that, but we're kind of picking at straws here. I mean,
It's not, it's not a two, it's not a deuce 3-9 board
yeah, you're correct.
that he just misses.
Can we look at low jack real quick? Can you click on low jack real quick? I'm
Go
just
back one
curious.
to this level of low jack, yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, thanks.
I
There's low
mean,
jack.
all those, my point is that the middling board, he doesn't have those, and your button does, whereas both of them have the two low broadways.
Yeah, you're right. He has this stuff at full frequency that missed. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, he's in there.
Still
You're
a-
right.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah. It's kind of funny because like there are times when I'll look at a bluffing situation where I'm like, this guy just doesn't have any hands that hit, and I don't care what I have. It's almost like a range bluff. You know, I mean, it's like, and I know that's
Yeah.
not a real thing, but you know, I just look and say this. So it's this idea of range connectivity.
Yeah.
It's your villain, the villain's range connectivity. So did the villain's range connect? And I would say the villain's range did, the villain being the low jack in this case, did hit a lot of queens and jacks. Whereas if it was a 9-7-5 board, I'd feel differently.
You gotta
All
know
right.
your customer a little bit, though. I mean,
Sure,
you gotta
absolutely.
understand if he's out in his own special poker world.
Yeah.
So do we think big blind has check raises on this board here now in this configuration? And I think big blind
No.
has few check raises. Few to none.
More of that from the low jack,
I would
right?
say he has almost zero.
Something right. We're learning, or we're either that or we're stabbing in the dark blindly and we happen to hit this time. But yeah, okay. So
So he
he
just
doesn't have check.
calls.
So he does calls. He calls his strongest hands and like that. And
Oh.
now,
Look at the sizing for us. Although, I do want to say something was different.
It
In the
was.
GTO, we're raising, he's betting 33%. He bet about 60% in the hand that we saw Larry post.
Yeah.
and there
yeah,
was
he
another
bet big.
player, and there was another player in, so the pot was a little bigger, but this had an opening size of 2.5 and our opening size was 2. So so that makes the pot the same.
So
Yeah.
they want to do the check raise a pot size bet. So
Yeah.
that would have been 28.
No, it's pot size. Oh yeah, I see. It's pot size with what's added. Yes. So bigger. Right? Yeah, 'cause the initial pot here was 75, was 750. Okay, $8. What's added in. Yep, so they're gonna raise bigger. And now there's a pure action. Jacks, queens, sixes.
Yeah. What's our overall? It's 20%. So that's a pretty big check raise.
Yep.
Percentage.
Right. And
Oh,
so,
Can we go back one node really quick?
yep,
I know it didn't happen in the game. Well, and we'll have to fix this. Make the big blind fold
okay.
just to compare what our check range or our
What our check raise frequency is?
yeah.
And size. Yep. Now we look at
Bigger.
this.
Because yesterday,
Yeah.
see, it went down.
This is a
But-
common, yeah, this is a good heuristic that we've seen.
Our check raising percentage goes down when the big blind folds.
Oh,
Mhm.
so that's counterintuitive to me. That's interesting.
I mean, yeah, I think the obvious answer is, quote unquote, clearing out equity denial.
When we have our value hands and value, value leads bluffs, not the other way around. When we have our value hands, we're confident that we're going to get called by one of them. So that allows us to bet our sets pure when we have two players in. I would hope that we do not bluff more when there are two players in, because that goes right against the logic I just said.
Well, if we are gonna check raise value more, in theory, we should balance that with a hot with,
But I wouldn't, but I would, if our value to bluff ratio, I would not want it to increase with two players. I would want it to decrease a little bit. I'd want to be a little more value heavy because I'm expecting to get called. And going through the solver now and counting the value in bluff hands and comparing them, I don't want to do.
Do I? That's a lot.
Okay, we could
As-
go back to the right node.
Right. As
YouTube, feel free in comments to count
Yeah.
the value to bluff.
right, that's what, when I was in college, that was, left as an exercise to the reader.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, here we go. So big blind is now gonna call. We're back in our node. So all the sets raise pure. The two pair mixes. We only have one two pair. Your over pairs mix.
Now we have offsuited queen jack too.
Oh, right. Yes. Offsuit queen jack.
I'm shocked that this does not bet more.
Check raise?
Yeah.
It's 20%. This combo or globally?
Can you go absolute? I just want to see how many we have.
We don't have it.
We don't have any queen jack.
Yeah, so
offsuit.
this doesn't, this is meaningless. The numbers here.
Oh, so
I'm still surprised that, I mean, you
queen
have.
jack might have been more pure the first time around in betting.
Queen jack and the low jack. Yeah, we do open it. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
su- I'm
Guys,
I
surprised.
think this is actually, I think it's actually a fold often. I think it's still folding low jack, but that's, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Josh has been trying to say something. Let him get his words out.
No, that's fine. Thank you, Joey. I'm surprised that it's calling more than it's raising.
can you show us what we're
Just to
doing with,
show how multi-way, how strong your hands have to be to treat them as strong hands.
sorry. So we're gonna obviously balance this with our front door and our back doors.
Yeah.
I think is the answer here.
Well, you're looking at our bluffs now?
Yeah, what, like, king, queen suited? What's our actions
That's
there?
King queen suited is value. Still top pair. And and a single king is not enough to do a lot of check raising.
What about our ace, king suited? We need the front door.
Just
Front door.
Just the.
Okay.
The front door, straight draw, two overs, and a flush draw, and a direct flush draw. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So
We're
that's
gonna
a
have the
hot
wrap here too.
bluff. This bluff here, this is your lower equity bluff, and you need a club to do it.
Can you show the king 10 suited wrap
Yeah,
front door?
Just
Okay.
clubs.
you need the club. You need the straight draw and the flush draw to want to check raise into two players there for the high equity ones. And then your low equity,
They're just pure
Flush-
calls with
flush
clubs.
draws just call. A six, is
Yeah,
the
that's a
weird
pair
bluff.
plus.
Yeah. Pair plus backdoor.
Didn't old school theory say that we check raise as pure?
Check
This
raise
back-
A6.
No, backdoor. You wanted front door, you wanted this one,
Okay.
and we do.
Pair plus draw. Okay.
Pair plus real
Draw
draw.
front door. Okay.
Yeah, where you just go, fine, you want to get it all in? Let's go. I have 15 outs usually. I have 14 outs usually.
Interesting.
There we go.
It's
And
just what floors me is how strong your hand has to be.
Right.
Well, we are out of position against two players, right?
We're out of position against one player.
Yeah, minus six.
Or the- Yeah.
Minus the big blind. I
Yeah.
meant to say.
but now looking at this makes sense to me. I'm gonna go back to relative. And just look and see, is anything crazy here? This is a bit ambitious, but it's still straight and overcard, one overcard. So
And you
this
need
is,
a club.
this mimics it. This is the same as ace king. This is top pair, and it only does it with the redraw. That's when you want to say how strong do you have to be, you need the club. And this is
Yeah.
second. And same thing with second pair, you need a club, and the jack of clubs is enough of a club to do it sometimes. So this is your biggest wild ass bluff.
What about 7-6 suited? Is there suits to that?
No, this is insane. These are
Actually, it's calling a little bit more with the back door
yeah,
and just looks like it's turning the sixes into a bluff.
yeah. Now let's see how often. Now it's doing it all the time, but how often does it have it? That's why it's not crazy. You just don't do it very much. Otherwise, otherwise this seems like it would be way too many combos of crazy. So
Yeah.
it's a sliver of crazy in a sliver of play. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's board coverage, low equity bluff.
Yeah. And then you wanted to see one thing. Just gonna go back. I'm gonna go back one step at the queen jack offsuit. Here.
You got to check first.
Yep, I did. There we go. And go relative,
Oh,
go absolute. Yeah, we don't play queen.
we
GTO
rarely
doesn't
have it.
got it. So
And then when we do have it, we bet it a lot.
we bet the sliver out. So there's nothing there. All right, so check, bet, call, raise.
And then call.
Okay, and they did call. You want to see what he should be calling with?
Eh,
Calling with second pairs. If they have a club. Calling with second pair,
calling
mixing
with top pair with a
on
club.
top pair, right, sorry.
Yeah,
So-
I bet your second pair is gonna fold a lot, right?
Here's your top pair folding. Here's top pair mixing folds.
Unless you have the back door.
Yeah, backdoor continues pure, the other two mix. Top pair. Top pair only calling with a backdoor club.
Oh,
You need a
wait.
back-
I just want everybody to notice there are no 3-bets
Nope.
in this range.
Nope.
It's all call
Well-
or fold.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
goes back to there's no point in raising when you're confronted by a polarized range.
We'll see if the big blind has any. I don't think it does. But, so calling your sets and your two pairs pure, folding out some top pair already.
I think the big blind might have some because the big blind went check and then his line was forced to passive again. Now
Yeah.
he's closing action.
Yeah.
Now he has relative position on the better.
Flush draws are not folding yet. No straight draw. No up and down straight draw folds yet.
Can you go to like the 5-4 and see is our worst FD calling? It's mix at the beginning of the
Little
mix.
folding. This one, backdoor and a pair mixes. Backdoor and a pair. But you need the backdoor, obviously. Yeah, 8-7 is pure because you didn't get here with any other 8-7. That's why that is. So there you go. A tiny sliver of all in from Jack 10 suited, from Jack 10 of clubs. Just as every so often you just go, all right, fine. Two pair never folds, and now here, these are your nut flush draws. No nut flush draw folds to this size. And with the pair, you don't even raise. You fold second pair here with ace kicker. You fold second pair here.
Unless
ace
you have
kicker.
the, I think it's calling more for the flush draw than the pair.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You need the flush. All flush draws no flush draw folds. But second pair folds. And here, second pair with backdoor calls. So you
So-
need at least that. And the queen is mixed. So that's a very tight range.
So
And
one heuristic takeaway from this is that you really need to be able to improve with your pair.
Call, and now, any check raises?
Yep.
Yep, and the check raises are jams. So this will be
Can
fun.
you do an absolute on that just to see what, I mean, that looks like a lot and it's not.
Set.
Set.
Well, he doesn't have queens and jacks in range.
Right, yeah. Second pair, flush draw, backdoor straight draw.
Let's run it. Yeah.
Top pair. Two pair, let's go.
Is two pair
draw,
pure or is it mixing?
You have
Mixes.
to unclick the all in.
yeah, it's mixing.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think what's really interesting about this is he folds very little. He
he
comes,
folded already, he already folded.
yeah, he comes to the turn with a strong range.
But look at him folding out top pairs.
Sure.
Top pair is not just, top pair is a pure fold.
Yeah, this is where I think we make a lot of our money, right? People getting stuck on absolute value.
This is a piece of Joey's lesson from before. Top pair, pure folding. Two pair or better, or a real draw. And the draws do not fold yet. All the nut flushes.
How about second nut flush?
Oh.
Yeah, we're out with second nut flush.
There you go. And the king nine gets in there with backdoor
Gutter.
straight also. No, just not even backdoor straight. He's got a gut shot.
Yeah.
Gut shot and a flush draw is enough. You don't fold it. Gut shot is not enough. There you go.
We started with 100 big blinds here.
Yeah.
In this one, in the sim we did. We're not counting the fact that the guy's short. There's a lot of things that are not being counted here, but we're still learning something.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, great.
And
Like
he
that.
calls.
He calls.
Seven of spades, sir.
I give you the seven of spades. Big blind has got to be checking range here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think jacks probably shove.
So in this case, look at this. We have different sizing than before. We have a half pot sizing now.
Oh.
Yeah, it gives us a half pot.
Three-way this, so it's not as strict as we thought. So here's this is your 2E and your jam. Two E, no jams.
I mean, we can examine this, but I think probably the jam in GTO folds out too many draws.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I like the 2E. That was
so who here would
Um,
like to do this with their sliver of 6-5? And this with their sliver of ace-6?
Nope.
No, thank you.
I don't find those.
I don't,
Don't worry about it.
Maybe
Yeah.
we need to start finding some of them.
Should we look
Maybe.
at, should we look at hand classes a little bit? So overpairs.
Sure.
So overpairs are now going to check.
Right.
Two pair. Two
Uh,
pair are going to bet. Sets. Oh, look at this trappy.
Some more trapping with the queens than the jacks, and an unimportant difference in no trapping with the sixes. Unblocks their calls.
Look at 8, top pair.
Top pair. Top pair with the ace does some betting. Top pair with the king
Can
bets.
you make it relative?
We just got to remember that we
So
don't
we
have
don't
the
have to squint.
nonsense.
Can you go back to eight screen? I just want to see. So it's yeah, okay. Got it. Thanks.
That looks like about 40%.
I was looking at something that turned out to be stupid, so forget it.
Yeah, so
King
so
queen.
our top of range trap is the queens. All other value appears to be two pair plus appears to be betting pure. All right, so our two pairs in our sets. And then top pair mixes, and then we've got bluffs. Like the wrap looks like that. I would imagine the combo wrap is betting pure here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like in this, go ahead.
Oh,
finish.
king jack's a draw. King jack's a draw. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's why.
In this very specific situation, I think protecting your checking range with top set is a waste of time. I think in game you just bet that pure and hope for the best.
yeah, I
Well,
can see
I
that.
can see the value in it because you're now taking 2 aggressive actions. They're definitely not going to be calling you a second pair anymore. So betting jacks doesn't block anything that they're going to call you with. However, if you're betting jacks and they called with 1 pair, now they're more likely to have a pair of queens.
You're right. I just
It's not really that you're trying to trap. It's also something you said before, the what was the wording? Opponent's connectivity. The connectivity of hands that he can continue with after all of this action is reduced when we do bet queens.
When we have queens, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I just think. I mean, so first of all, you're right. I mean, clearly zero calls. So I mean, or checks or whatever it is. So I mean, there's. I mean, you're not wrong.
And it's not a sliver. It's
oh
half.
no, it's a
Like-
mix. It's a pure mix, but it's still. I was just making the point. Again, if you go back to the idea that anytime you're looking at a mix, you can think about your opponent and exploit one way or the other. To me, I don't want him to shut down if the club comes in. I think he's going to hang on no matter what. I just think that most of my opponents, it's probably not a bad idea to exploit with a bet.
And I think this queen trap is also dependent upon button having the appropriate amount of stabs, bluffy stabs, which in a multi-way pot are not going to be there.
Right. You mean
So that's going to sway you a lot more to betting with queens once you take away humans' portions of bluffs.
And I'm going to support this idea with an old poker theory. This is pre-GTO. This is Harrington on Hold'em. Which is you get your value from the flush draw now because he's folding it on the river. And I believe the reason that changed to GTO was you let the flush draw stay in because he's bluffing it on the river.
Yeah.
Which humans don't find.
Right. Yeah, I think that, and multi-way, I think they're less likely to do it and like that. So I think that adjustment of betting all the sets.
How many of you guys check the queens sometimes here? Like I'm of the just bet the damn things.
That's what we're talking about exactly, Derek.
Like
It's
I
that-
don't know. do you guys actually do this in practice? Because I just bet, to be honest.
There are situations.
Not on a board this wet. I might do it, like if we looked at this on a board with an entirely dry texture, like rainbow disconnected, I'm gonna find some check traps here. But on this texture, I'm never gonna find check traps here.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, when I think I have enough room to get money in later, I might back end it, noting that I'm blocking top pair. But at this late in the hand, no, that's my point. This late in the hand, I would rather just get the money in with the queens, exploitatively. Clearly, it's a mix.
Yeah.
And-
I think that when actually faced with it, that's what I do. I don't think I ever check the queens here.
Plus, as humans,
Well, I
I mean,
think-
how much are you gonna hate yourself when you check and he gets there with his multi-draw?
Well, he's not folding it anyway, so you shouldn't really care.
Yes.
No, he's talking, he wasn't saying what's the right play. He's saying why he would do.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying it hurts. It hurts
It's
as a human.
emotional exploit. It's a personal emotional exploit.
Yes.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
Again, one of the things I do look at is, in addition to allowing the clubs to get there for free, you're allowing the non-clubs to shut down when the club comes. And
Yep.
to me, that's the bigger compelling reason to put the queens in.
Joey,
I
you were
think
saying?
there's another thing to it. Like, I am very aggressive when I play, which leads a lot of people to believe I'm just stabbing at a lot of boards that I don't hit. So now when I have like what is currently the nuts, I can get value by checking it because now the big button thinks that I was just full of it and it's safe to bet.
All right.
I thought you were gonna say the opposite. I thought that because you were aggressively bluffing on previous hands, it was gonna allow you to take value with the top of range.
Well, yeah, it could do that too.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
But
a mix.
what's the easiest way to get the money in on the turn?
Betting.
No, to get all the money in on the turn.
I think it's not going for a check raise because that requires him to bet. The easiest way to get all the money in is by betting the turn.
Oh,
bidding.
but
I
I
agree with
think
that.
everybody's not recognizing something.
Yeah.
That a 2x pot shovel in the river is still very plausible.
Yep, you can do that.
If it checks through, you can still easily get all the chips in.
Okay.
But when you're against a flush draw that checks behind, you can't get any extra money from it. Old school.
Yeah, there's a reason why nobody reads Harrington on Hold'em anymore.
Yeah, but okay.
But if your opponents are playing in
And-
that style, I don't think that
And I know Dan Harrington personally. I've played poker with him in a poker
Uh-huh.
room in Philly.
So Dean, please comment below on what you do here.
Okay. Oh, do we have comments that I should be?
No, I'm just kidding. I was talking about YouTube.
Oh, fine. Oh,
Like-
that one. Oh, Dan, not Dean. Okay, anyway,
Oh,
good.
sorry.
So moving on from here, the interesting that the king queen, we almost never have it. So it's pure. The ace queen, we have a little bit more. So that explains that difference there.
The takeaway for me is our overpairs are now checking. They're very shook after 2 calls.
Yeah, if you want to simplify this to all top pair checks, all top pair and over pairs check, you need 2 pair or better on your value side. I think that's a great simplification. And so you lose this king queen. So what?
I agree completely.
Right.
I think
Right.
that's a very powerful observation, Multiway.
But here's the one that I think is also important. But pair plus draw with 1 card to go for it. That's the important thing here.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Is this one and this one that I would not have done.
Yeah, so I think this is a really this is one I'm gonna have to look at more, because are you determining that your jack's no good at this point? Because
Rarely it's good.
what?
It's rarely good against two players.
Well, so of course it's not all, yeah, I'm saying, so the point is,
Yes.
it's only once you abandon the showdown value of your hand that you can get aggressive here with a hand that's not a monster.
Right.
And
Right.
because I think it's, I mean, again, generally speaking, and this might be, well, no, generally speaking, I skew towards, if I have showdown value in a draw, I'm playing it more passively to get to showdown value. I'm trying to keep the pot small, so
Right.
so my showdown value in medium hand actually has showdown value. But once the pot starts getting big, there's a point where some of these pairs abandon their showdown value, and I think that's what's going on here. Is, you know, top pair is trying to keep the pot small and call, where second pair has abandoned its showdown value and therefore gets aggressive with its draws.
Yeah.
Sure.
I have
Yeah.
one
I
quick
agree
question
with
for the
that.
group, if you don't mind.
Yep.
So I wonder if the part of the value of betting the semi bluff second pair with the redraw, is that if we fold out button and then we get a check from big blind on river, we are now going to realize our equity with second pair.
Okay. Yeah. So the
Hold
because
on,
you
hold on. Can I react to that?
yes.
So we got two callers after check raising the flop. We're gonna bet again, and let's say there's a caller, even if it's the caller that Larry just mentioned. You think your second pair is good?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
think, you know, you
I'm
can bluff
asking the
without-
hypothetical. I'm not. I think very rarely, right? But I think, if you do realize that equity 20% of the 20% of the time, maybe that's part of the strategy.
So here, I'll support, I'm gonna go with this, that if we bet button folds, big blind calls, and the river does not bring our equity, and we have the jack, I don't think we turn the jack into a bluff on the river.
Yeah. Well, we can.
We're gonna look at that. That's what I
Yeah,
think. I think,
that's the way to answer that question.
yeah, so
We
we'll look at
can't
that.
look at that.
We can't look at that. We don't have rivers. All right. So then I will
We
just,
also have no jacks. By the way, the way this sim is going, there are no jacks on the river. Because you
no, I
bet,
didn't mean that.
if
I
you
meant
check
when-
them,
So we bet this, we bet one of these. It doesn't improve, but it folds out the big blind. I mean, folds out the button. I think on the river, when the button checks, we will check behind and try to take it a showdown value. Whereas if you're, in your theory, it would have to be bluffing a fair amount because it believes it has no showdown value.
oh, yeah, you're kind of asking, would you double barrel your jacks? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Would
Right.
Here,
Yeah.
triple barrel, yeah.
Somebody got to quit.
Right.
Yeah.
So before we move on, I'd like to say, no, thank you. I don't want to be this good a player.
No, thank you, DTO.
No, thank you, DTO. I don't want to be this good a player. And yes to all this here. And that going back to the queens really quickly, which is in solver land, you always protect, if you always have bluffs for every action, and we found that's not true in DTO, but there are times that DTO has 0 bluffs. And because you're going to always protect your checking range with something, that's why this is here. That's why this little bit of the queens is here. And I don't think you need it. I think all this is more than enough. All
Yeah,
right.
I agree. Dismissing
agree, yeah.
the queen trap makes sense.
All right, moving on. So what actually happened
Wait,
was,
Scotty.
Yeah.
Going back to that though, like you're saying, have ace queen, protect your checking range. So if you check the low and the low jack, the button bets and the big blind calls, do you think you could still call ace queen?
no, you should fold it.
So how's that protecting your range?
Not effectively. When you have to face one bet on the river, you might. So going back a step, let's see if it does fold. Let's see what it does. So big blind check. So low jack now checks. Button now bets. Oh, whoops, sorry. Go back to the low jack. Low jack now checks. Button now bets. Big blind folds.
No,
Oh,
call.
against the call, we're folding. I'm sure,
Yeah.
but let's check both one. All right. Go back. The
Oh,
big blind
do they
never
have no
called.
calls?
Yeah. All right. And now folding all top pairs.
So we're out with the top pair.
Relative. Yeah. Aces, kings. The big
Yeah,
draws.
Even
Fold.
folding over pairs.
Yeah.
Can you hover over ace queen for a second?
Yep.
Okay.
And this difference here has to do with the absolute. Is that
Yeah.
to get the number? I mean, you look, these ace queens are, all, I'm not
It's
gonna fix
about
that. So I know it.
10% of 2 combos.
Yeah, yeah. Now you jump in with your queens that have gotten this far. Lose your mind with an ace nine. Just say, okay. Ace 10 doesn't need to jam here because it has the other draw to get there. Ace 9 doesn't. Or jams in this little bit. And 7, 6 of hearts. Oh, it's 2 pair. It's 2 pair. It is something. Okay. There. So yeah, my nonsense about the ace queen protecting it is nonsense. You needed the queen. Okay. As played. We bet the 24 and then we don't get a river. So that's all we can learn.
Yeah.
We just see, okay, yeah, I think that is all we can, you have a good point.
So what happened to your hand, Larry?
He bet the river
Um,
and they folded.
Yeah, I shoved
Oh,
river.
right,
They
right.
both called turn and I shoved river and they both folded.
And the thing we determined was that the turn bet was a little small.
Yeah, I learned, yeah, I that's very important.
Yeah.
I went like 19 or 18 or something on the turn. That was too small. Probably should have used like this size they're using here.
Anybody else have a multi-way hand prepped up? Otherwise, I will grab one of mine. All right, we'll go do mine. And if anybody wants to, while in the background, bring it up, let's do that. And I'm gonna do one thing here and be responsible, which is open up the chat again. Each time I turn off the share, my chat goes away, is what happens. There, let's see.
And thanks, Scotty. Thanks, guys, for going through that hand with me. I do appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you, YouTube, for your comments.
we
Like
talked
and
about, we talked about this already. We talked about shoving. Yeah. And then I'm gonna speak for Skate here on the shove, which is on not shoving, which is the top of his argument is I want to get called. I want to bet smaller so I get money from them. I want to get called. And we talked about why we don't want to do that. And what's the board? Checks plan. Okay, good. All right, we're good. All right, here is a multi-way hand. I hope I'm not in it.
Well, zero if it's not you. Oh,
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna flat this here. Come on, not me. Thank you.
good,
All right,
good, good.
I don't misplay this one. This
I
is an easy,
3-bet that.
yeah, at some frequency, sure. And if for you, it's 100%.
Some frequency.
For me, it's not. Yep, your frequency, 100% is your frequency. My frequency is not. But it is a
Hijack versus low jack, you'll find a 3-bet there.
showy
Yeah,
3
they're
bets a lot.
slivers.
Okay.
I hit the slivers. There are
Yeah.
Okay.
slivers of 7-8 suited.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Cool.
In our simplified world, there are no calls from the cutoff here, and in GTO, there are no calls from the cutoff here, and in GTO Wizard, at 100 big blinds, there are no calls from the cutoff here. So if you want to play a slightly simplified strategy, this is a 3-bet.
Mhm.
In this case, it's not gonna go well. Having done that, I now believe that this king nine is a correct call here. I think my earlier ones were worse, so I'm gonna say that the cutoff here is king eight folds, king 10 definitely plays, king nine is cuspy and has some calls. That's my prediction.
I think you're spot on. I think it's
Uh,
king 9+.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
I think
find
king
out.
nine plays.
All right, let's find out first in the wizard. And we're gonna put the other guy on the, we're gonna do 2 games with this. We'll put the other guy on the button, not the cutoff. Because it's still 100 big blinds deep, or go to NL 500.
Yeah, he'll have it. He'll have flats, I think, with
Right.
his combo and button.
So he is in the high, so he's cut off.
So
Fold.
You've
Cut
got,
off
so I
button.
think your opener is UTG, Scotty.
I think he's tweaking this because we.
No, he's hijack. Hijack.
Yeah, that's, no, he's
so-
low jack.
He's low jack.
I'm low jack. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. Low jack and cutoff, you're right. I'm just, yeah, you're
You're
right.
gonna do low jack and button, right?
You
Yes.
clown.
So I mean, this is where I might do hijack and button. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
Come
I
on,
mean,
big blind. King 8 fold, king 9 mix, king 10 call pure. Come on. Hey. Hey.
Makes sense.
All right. Then there's this, which we will not discuss. That's for a different session. Great.
And I'll be honest, of the 3 bets I do miss, those middle kings are the ones I miss the most.
Yeah.
And then when I look, I was like, damn, I missed.
And the ETO Explorer, we're gonna do just the pre-flop here. 6 players, we'll do their general 6 players version of it. We'll do 6 players NL50. They have it.
is general just rake free?
I don't know. I did talk to the DTO guy. Their 9-handed ranges are calculated with NL 500. Their 6-hand NL 50 is NL 50. I assume their other one is NL 500 because that's their default, but I didn't find that out.
Right.
And then I asked about the differences between GTO Wizard and DTO in their simple pre-flop raises, like not even responses. And he responded the way everyone does. I said, what are the assumptions into this that are different? They're both NL 50. And he said, it has to do with the opening raise size. And I said, they're both 2.5, to which he said, it has to do with their 3-bet and 4-bet sizes and their responses on the flop, to which I said, okay. And we don't need to say more about that. But I was super happy that he answered, that the
Was
DTO
that
guy,
Dominic?
Dominic on DTO
Yeah.
got back to me.
Yeah, I've talked to him before. He's cool.
Yeah. So, I cannot say nice enough things about DTO's tech support. They're
Yeah.
fast. And when we didn't understand how to find the 3-bet thing, he got back to me in minutes. So just great.
Yeah, when they did that BBZ boot camp thing, he was reaching out to a whole bunch of my friends too. He was great to deal with.
Yeah. So very happy with those guys. Anyway, so that was that. Now in DTO land, low jack does a raise. Oh, we wanted to see. Yeah, we want to see low jack raise. Cutoff is going to have no calls there. Button. Oh, come on, button.
No call.
Not even button call.
Bummer.
We got
Make it hijack, if you would, the raise from the hijack. I think that might help.
No, I'm just going to go to the other rake structure.
Okay, that'll work too.
That'll do it. It's with NL 50. They don't even allow a call on the button. They are raise, fold. Now we have calls, fold, and big blind. Come on. How similar? Different. Very different. Very different. But either way, king 9 is comfortable. So this seems
I'm the takeaway. It's not a fold.
king 9's not a fold, but look at this. They're raising all of this kings and they're calling with some frequency these kings. That's there. But here's the region that I didn't know before. In both cases, this is what I was playing wrong. Because Because of, I blame Louis, by the way, for studying with the tournament guys who call 100% of this. All right.
Well,
You were
yeah,
saying,
you're
Jeff-
supposed to in MTTs.
right. That's what I'm saying. I blame them for teaching me that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So back
But
to this.
also, the call range for the big blind is larger here because the opening range for the low jack is also larger.
Oh, you mean in DTO versus GTO?
Yeah,
Right, not MTT versus cash. Yes. Yes. There's
right.
more, there's
'Cause
a little
the
bit. There's
DTO has a
10%.
wider low jack range, therefore the big blind can call more hands
Yes.
than GTO wizard.
Yes. All right. So with this, the king nine, we now go back to the game. The king nine suited is perfectly fine for his call. That's what we learned there. All right. 5, 6, 7, rainbow. We'll play it out and then we'll go look.
Okay, so just remind me, ace jack was the open?
Ace jack was the open. Ace jack was the open, and in our world, the king jack is going to be on the button, and that's just fine. That's our
Yeah.
compromise. Other than that, we are actually good.
So we
like,
we do agree that
I'd
villain should
say that-
check almost purely here.
I think this.
Villain, I think villain is a check range here, even on
I
a
would
board.
donk bet this.
Okay. And would you donk bet? Do you think that's GTO or is that your exploit? Heads up, it's a fine donk bet. We know that.
I have seen other three-way where the big blind does get donks on this board.
Okay.
So I think if
It's
you're gonna
not
see one-
necessarily showing it in DTO,
Mhm.
but I've seen one from simple three-way where it was the identical boards where big blind gets it heads up, they do get donks
So
multi-way.
We'll see.
Be
GTO lets it.
interested to see what happens here, but I would say if you're gonna find a donk bet, you're gonna find it on a 7-6-5 rainbow board. But
Or
I just
you
think,
have
geez, general heuristic, just check. I mean, just range check the whole damn thing because it's just too complicated.
Well, let me repeat Larry's
There are always going to be mixes.
Let me repeat Larry's point from earlier sessions, which is even when you have a donk strategy, if you choose to have 0 donks even when the solver has them, you're not giving up much EV because to get the EV out of that, not only do you have to know when to donk, but you have to follow through correctly. And the amount of learning, because donks don't happen that often, required isn't worth it according to Jeremiah Williams. Is that right, Larry?
And Phil Gaffon.
And Phil Gaffon. So there you go.
You
Yep.
can add my name to that list.
Exactly.
And Josh.
Right. So there you go. So that's a perfectly fine adjustment to make. All right. Now, hey, King, welcome. So in this one, he doesn't donk and he feels that he's playing it, that there are overpairs here. I don't think he's going for a check raise. I think he's hoping to get another card and to check call a small bet. So here, now his donk ability just went away. So he was hoping to donk the turn after check, but now he can't. But he does.
Yeah, he should have checked there.
Yeah, that's gonna work. No, it's not. Ace jack is definitely.
No,
Ace jack
Ace
is definitely calling.
ace jack should have bet if it checked to him.
Yeah, with this. And now king jack is an easy fold. And now the river.
I think you should check a lot here.
Should he turn this into a bluff against
Hi.
a
No.
queen? Now that the 4-liners come in when he's got 8s and the other guy doesn't?
Yeah, it's a
And
tough
No,
one.
it's too strong.
You guys
to
talk,
turn
I have to
into a
get my
bluff.
phone.
Yeah, I think Scotty stepped away. Yeah, I think he tried to get the showdown here
I agree.
and bluff catch appropriately.
I mean, there's 2 ways to do it. block bet small or check.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the opponent.
Also about donking, I wonder, I mean, it's very possible that DTO just didn't include a donking option in its solves that it built.
That's
Whatever
possible.
tool it used
Sometimes
on the
they don't
back
have a
end,
whole.
whether it's either monk or solver or simple three-way.
So I don't even know if you, isn't donking, I mean, this is semantics and it doesn't matter on the turn. I mean, once everybody gives up the initiative,
I think
it's almost,
technically it's a stab.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the wrong word.
But
Also, initiative is like an imaginary construct in poker.
yeah,
It's
but
not
I will
fixed.
tell you, it seems to work. I mean, if you look at like how solvers actually play, it's like they know. And I get it that it's
I
really.
think it becomes a real thing because people allow it to become a real thing, but it shouldn't be a thing.
Well,
You know
no,
what I mean?
what I'm saying is that it just works out that the ranges that create that phenomena just kind of work. Like
Okay.
the reason why people backed into this idea is because I don't know. I mean, it just seems like that happens all the
No,
time.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
King, I'm going to disagree with you in a different way. The solver does not consider that, but it, you know, explicitly, but like you guys said, it comes into the ranges. We, I think, can consider it as a real thing,
Mhm.
because we can say, we can, you know, do some reverse logic, which is if you had this, you probably would have done that. Therefore, and that simplifies to he gave up the initiative.
Yeah. Okay. There's a human element there. Okay. I
Right.
see what you're saying.
And
I got
and
you.
one of the things that Brad Owens was talking about, Brad Owens was talking about was that he tried to get some language around poker that clarified your thinking. And so it is correct that we shouldn't call that a donk because it is a different kind of thing. And
Well,
Mike called it a probe, and I think he's right. Probe,
Okay.
stab, those are good words in our own minds. On this river, the simplified version of this river for villain 190 is I'm now marginally made, so I should check and do some check calling depending on sizing.
Mhm. Mhm.
The deviation from that is, should you turn your second pair into a bluff, and there are certainly times that you turn a pair into a bluff, is this the time?
So, and my answer is no.
I say no.
And the reason why I say no, it's very different than the hand we just saw. We were much. I mean, obviously we're the same later straight, but the only thing that really has happened here is a single bet so far, right? By a post flop. And
Yeah.
so it's not like there was double barrel or a check raise or anything like that. So there's a lot of reasons why there's a lot of missed draws. There's a lot of 5x and 6x with a backdoor, 7x with a backdoor. That was early that you now are beating that arrived here this way.
Yep.
And so I think you have showdown value. It's like you have to abandon your showdown value to turn something into a bluff at this point.
Mhm. Yep.
Right. And
I
I
agree.
think you're right here with that, which is if you turned a 5x into a bluff here rather than a 9x, because a 5x benefits from the 6 and 7 folding. The 9.
Yeah, you just have to think about all the hands that showed up at the river that would be better bluffs. Because even I think you might be right on the 5x, but the 5x has more equity than pure nothing.
Yeah.
And so the difference between the low, because on the river you're betting your very low equity bluffs, not your high equity
Right.
hands. And the 9 and maybe the 6 or the 7 would have enough equity that it's not worth. You have enough bluffs. You have enough hands in your range that you could bluff.
Right. Now the hands I think you might not be bluffing here are your clubs, your missed clubs, because you really want him to have missed clubs when you bet out here. So you block his folds, and with those gone, that might push you to have to bet a 5 or a pair of 4s or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's
But
right.
I think there's still enough. I don't think you need to bet I'm with you. You don't need to bet a queen or a 9 here.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask if do you guys think this spot is appropriate for like a 10% blocker, or is this more a check? Because I'm kind of indifferent between blocker betting and checking here.
I don't want to block on a four-liner.
I think it
Yeah, okay,
depends on the opponent. Because I'm sitting here thinking while we're talking about king nine checking, which I don't really disagree.
Mhm.
I'm also thinking, what am I doing with the ace jack when it checks to me? And I'm going to freaking bomb it.
Yep, 100%.
What size would you use, Joey?
I mean, I go pot myself
Yeah,
probably,
I'm thinking
but
about pot.
Yeah, I think pot's appropriate.
And
Why?
I'm trying to think what the solver might do if the solver had a river range in DTO.
I mean, this is where, and this again, you talk about Louis getting my head spun around. I mean, when does ace high have enough showdown value not to do that? And why isn't this one of those cases? Like, I
Because we
mean,
block clubs.
Heads
oh
up,
yeah, that's a good point.
heads up. Ace high has more value than it did in a three-way pot.
so
Right.
I think those are fair comments. I think on the blocking club side, I mean, I think if it was a front door club instead of a backdoor club, that would be more compelling to me. But I
That's a
mean,
good point.
Except,
I don't honestly, this is where like I get confused. I frequently get this wrong on when to consider the showdown value of the ace. But you got, and part of it is to think about like what non-aces do I have that I'd rather bluff? Like again, it's really that. Like, do you have enough bigger misses to bluff? Because if you bluff ace jack of clubs, you're bluffing a lot of hands, right? Aren't you
Yeah.
bluffing ace
Oh
10?
yeah, for sure. 100%.
Yeah. so I want to,
I think it's appropriate myself, but
I don't know. You guys are, now I'm outside of my comfort zone a lot. I don't know.
Well, if you're betting pot here with your range should be 50%. Or no, 30%, 33%.
one third
bluffs.
bluff. 2/3 value, 1/3 bluff. Thank you, Skate, for the picture. I want to disagree with one thing you said, Josh, just one. When you talked about the difference between front door and back door, here, this is the equivalent of front door because the flop went check, check, check. So does that make sense?
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay,
Yep.
now moving on. And
Free
that's
card to the turn, and it
Yeah.
it functions the same as a front door.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So
Well,
with all
we
that,
didn't finish the
I
hand.
take
What
away.
happens?
But so like 2 minutes ago, you said when you block the draw that would fold, that's a good time to bet. I mean, when you unblock it, because there's
Yeah.
more clubs that will fold. In this case, there are more made hands here because you block the clubs. So, I mean, it feels a little like a contradiction. By the way, I'm not arguing.
No, it's the opposite.
No idea what
If I said it right, it's not a contradiction. If I said it right was that when I bluff, I want my opponent to have clubs because clubs are an easy fold.
Right, and in this case, we're advocating bluffing ace jack. Ace jack's a bluff, right?
No, they're advocating bluffing the ace jack suited. I'm advocating that it's less of a good bluff.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I think that the combination of the fact that we unblock the folds, the club folds, and we actually have some potential showdown value with the ace, I'm not sure I like this as a bluff.
Right. And just to
That's
correct one
fair.
word, you said we unblock the club folds. We block the club folds.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, that I always get lost in that thing. Good. So yeah, so those are the reasons to bluff it. Those are the reasons not to bluff it. I
Mhm.
think we've all agreed that the 9 is a bad bluff here.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
see what he does. He blockers. And I personally find the blocker easier to raise than the check.
Yep, I agree. 100%.
That's
So
an
that's why
important
I don't
insight.
wanna-
That's a very important thing to say.
Big fat raise, and he
Because
folds.
that takes away from the blockers, and also if you're going to use blocker, that means that you should include nutted hands in that
Yes.
pattern more.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing is like, what nuts do you not want to bet bigger?
Yeah. I just don't. Yeah. I see that. as please let me get to
Yep.
showdown for 125.
Yeah,
And
no,
Oh,
I
no,
would
we
go-
have to do this with a 10 every so often.
Yeah.
Not that often, because when it's a bet this small,
With a 10? You mean with an 8?
An eight,
Eight.
you mean?
With an 8.
yeah, an 8, I'm sorry.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, you do. If you're going to use your blocker that way, you have to do it with that. And I don't think people do. So now
I mean, I do, but it's not even close to like a 1-to-1 ratio. It's like one value for like nine blockers, you know,
that's
something
probably
like
about
that.
right. That's probably about right, the right ratio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What Scotty said was really important too.
When
I
you're
mean,
block betting, that's correct.
Oh, okay.
it's
Okay.
really
Oh,
important
good.
to know your customer here.
And so now on villain 186, when I wanted to check behind, now I don't. Now I want to bluff it.
Hey, so Scotty, you're showing your texts to YouTube, so you might want to turn that off.
No, this isn't text. This is meeting chat.
No, your email.
Yeah, we can see
Oh,
your
my, an
emails.
email popped up. Oh, well, I didn't see it pop up. Hopefully hopefully the email that popped up was
Yeah.
a scam.
one looks like spam, one looks like it's actual.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, and it looks like your auto pay for your porn site is working.
Yeah, it's all the porn
that's good. As long
subscription.
as that's good.
God damn it.
As long as that's good. I don't know if you know, but there's juggling on OnlyFans. Moving on. We have
Juggling
I'll,
midgets?
I'll turn that off. Yeah, best
Oh
kind.
God.
All right, I'll turn that off at some point in my life. Notifications from that. Okay.
So yeah, I think that
let's see what he does.
exploitatively, this person has now opened themselves up for a raise.
And it works. There we go. Okay. So put it in
I will
DTO.
say that
Sorry, what happened?
back in the
hand?
day, God's
Folded.
big toe.
Villain 186 folded his ace.
He folded ace high. He said enough of that.
Yeah, so maybe that was a block bet bluff.
Wait, he
No.
folded versus this 1.24 big blind?
Yeah, he said
Oh,
he said
okay.
my ace high is not good. It's
Well,
not
that's
good.
probably if you're not going to bluff it, you should fold it, right? Because you know you're not good.
But do you not have like more? Well, okay, I kind of run into the spot sometimes where it's like an ace high, it's not a made hand, but like, I mean, it does have showdown value against some of that range. Like, are you
Well,
not
let's look at. I mean, we could also look at pot odds.
extremely priced in to call this
Yeah,
with
it's an
the
easy-
ace
it's an
high?
easy decision.
That's what we've been talking about, and I would actually. This is semantics again, but I actually think ace high sometimes is a made hand. I mean, that's the.
Oh, I agree,
It's a
100%.
semantic
So,
thing, but you're saying the same thing.
This is
Okay.
this decision is easy here. The guy is usually not bluffing. Is he bluffing? Is he bluffing 1 out of 16 times? I'm sorry, one out of 15, 1 out of 16 times. If you believe he's bluffing 1 out of 15 or 16 times, you can call. If you think he's
Okay.
bluffing out of 1 out of 20 times, you fold all the time. If you think he's bluffing 1 out of 10
Well,
times,
could you also jam saying that he's only block betting with weaker hands like this?
Well, we've already said if we're not going to go for the jam bluff exploit, once he says I'm not going to not jam, I'm not going to bet pot on you here.
Mhm.
Says, how often is this a bluff? It needs to be a bluff just over, more than 15% of the time for me to make a profit on this call. If he bluffs it 1 out of 20 times, I should fold 100% of the time.
Yeah, so I just want to be really clear that my whole, if he checks, I might check back ace high, ace jack of clubs, because I have enough showdown value and I can find other bluffs to do that. As soon as he bets, I now know my ace high is no good. I mean,
That's fair. That is a fair.
Obviously,
at it.
there's that 1/9 or whatever you said bluffing thing, but for all practical purposes, block bets usually are weak made hands that want to see a showdown. And so as soon as you realize that, just validates that in addition to my clubs making it more likely that he has some sort of made hand, the small bet makes it small. So my ace high is no longer good. Can I pull him off of it? And this is not a polarizing bet. So my whole just call polarizing bets to get paid by the bluffs doesn't apply. So I think that,
Which I think makes the argument for, a fat raise here.
it's a candidate for a raise.
Yeah, I was checking behind against the check, and but once he did that tiny block bet, I went on Team Joey.
Okay, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, me too, me too.
And the clubs didn't stop me. Okay, good. Let's put this in, let's see how close we can get to this thing. All right, so
Good
post
luck
flop,
getting that.
three players. This
You're
was
not
a
gonna find
jack.
that blocking bet in this, I
No,
bet
no,
you.
we're not gonna find that, but also we don't get rivers.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So this is low, this is hijack. Is the initial, no, sorry. This is low, right. Oh, this is our low jack button, big blind that we looked at already. Okay. So we want low jack button, big blind.
Yeah,
Good. All right. We
click
want,
off the filters.
I just wanted to remember what is our flop? Our flop is low and rainbow. So just in case, let's go rainbow and see what we get. And it's other. We want this 765, baby.
765.
All right.
Wow.
Thank you. DTO
Thanks,
with,
thanks for picking up a hand that matches.
all right. Okay, beautiful. So just looking at the range is does it let us look at a pre-flop range? No, we can't see it that way. So what actually happened
Well, we can
was,
see the pre-flop range by
We
looking
can
at
see
the range
we
now.
can see how much Joey donks here.
right, so there is no
They
donking
don't
in
donk.
DTO.
Can,
So
Oh,
DTO doesn't allow it.
can you, I am wondering if it's a difference between a low jack range or a cutoff range. I'm wondering if we look at, if we can find this board in cutoff button, big blind, if there's any dunks.
Yeah, we'll look real quick and then we'll go back to what we have. This board doesn't exist. Is there anything equivalent? 632 is the closest equivalent.
Yeah,
no,
but
it's
you
gotta be
see-
middle. I mean, that's
gotta be
there's too
middle.
much wheel. There's too much wheel in the 632.
All right, let's do 679. That's the closest
that
thing
will
to answer our
it's-
question.
No, there's no dunk bets when the card's over 8.
Right, so there is no, they don't have, so this is the closest one you're gonna get to that.
There's
just
no
to-
dunk bets because there's a 2.
Yep, no
We can
donks.
tell you right away.
Yep. No donks there. And looking at the other one. We don't expect it. Yeah, we're not finding any donks in this world. Okay, back to low jack. Back to the,
This is an important reminder to us all, though, that you know, when you're doing a non-GTO wizard solver, you got to remember that these guys prescribe this. It doesn't mean that there isn't a GTO donk in the
Right.
world. It just
Yeah.
means that these guys didn't program the model with
Yep.
enough flexibility.
yep, we said that earlier today. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So here's our check range. Now, we had check, and we expect that that's what we're gonna get from hands
I'm
like,
wondering if ace jack gets to bet from the low jack.
we'll
nope.
see. No, this is, yeah, low jack is check range.
Okay.
Low jack is check range. Now the button, and the button is the one with the king jack suited, and it is backdoor. Yeah, button is king jack suited with a suit.
Yeah, he shouldn't be betting much either because this is definitely a big blind board.
Yeah, so there you go. Let's going on absolute. I'm going here just to see it clearly. He's got a lot of betting with his king jack. As long as you have a backdoor. So he's allowed to check this particular hand, but this is a majority bet. Even on this board.
You're just really talking about overs with backdoor, right? King jack isn't special, right?
Yeah.
Queen jack is the same.
Yeah, I was just looking at his hand. Yeah.
Oh, right, I forgot. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Can you take it off a hand so I can see the overall global frequencies?
Yeah.
Yeah, he bets less than 50%.
Right. But the other two guys are checking range to him.
Yeah, but it's a sucker bet because they're all, because they check range.
Yes.
You have to be worried about check raises here a lot.
Yeah.
I want to say it's not like you're going to check raise a lot, but you have to be aware of it.
Yeah. Over pairs, reverse linear.
Mm-hmm.
44, 64, 74, 85, and then a legitimate overpair and a draw. Still high though. Still much higher than queens. So reverse linear on your pairs. the thing that we now see, this is our surprising thing. I think this happens enough that we can learn it now, which is in multi-way pots, your sets do not go reverse linear. They go close to linear.
Well, okay, so in this case, I think the connectivity of the board, I kind of, okay, I'm developing this thought as I'm speaking, but there's something weird about the sevens because they block 8-7. And I'm pretty aware of the fact that this is a made straight board on, 8-9.
Mhm.
And that there's a lot of pair plus straight draw on this board as well. And so that's all an incentive to keep the pot small. And I definitely like the fact that 8-7 is blocked here. And I don't know how to put all that together, but I'm just making that observation. So this weird thing where it kind of like almost looks like a hill, where it's it's reverse linear. It's linear, as you say, as opposed to reverse linear, might be just the nature that it's also highly straight middling board.
So here's the thing that I think we did is we've done some other DTO sessions, and what we found regularly is that the sets go linear and not reverse linear. We all expected reverse linear on the sets, and we kept getting contradictions. And so now I'm now saying I think that that's a general heuristic.
And would you say that's true if one of the top, like let's say this was a king
On disconnected boards also. On disconnected boards, we find it on high boards, we've seen it across, queen 10 deuce. We've seen it across
Okay.
very different boards than this.
Okay, cool.
And so that's that I'm saying is your logic all makes sense, but I think that there's an overriding thing that we have seen. And we'll just keep looking for it. Every time we see it, we'll just do a
Yeah.
quick check and see if that goes. But in this case, but we did see it here.
Yeah.
You for your to want to bet the ignorant end of the straight, you'd like to have a backdoor to go with it. You can do it without a backdoor, but you'd really like a backdoor to bet the ignorant end. The ignorant end of the gut shot of of the four liner. You can still do, but not so much. Top pairs. Reasonably checking. Betting without the backdoors. Your top pairs. Top pair with a straight draw, betting more
So
than
that's
top.
an example where showdown value trumps the draw. That's why that is doing it that way.
Say that again.
Go
Showdown,
to,
which the 8-7 or the ace-7?
I think it's the 8-7. I think so. Yeah. And then can you make it relative just so I can see it?
I just wanted to see. Yeah, I wanted to see if we had one of them much more than the other. So 8-7.
So, it's so hard for me to see these things sometimes. 8-7. It looks
8-7. The percentage is it bets 75%, and ace-7 when the high bet is.
I'm thinking that the hearts bet more frequently. No, yeah, more frequently.
The hearts don't want to see another card.
The hearts don't want to see another card.
The
Yeah.
diamonds and clubs.
Well, but I also, the point I was trying to make is that okay, this is not a good example. I have to think. I have to get my thought more fully formed.
Okay. Right. So he bets, he mixes his top pairs. All of his sixes have something better going with them. Two pair. You just don't have any middle pairs there. His fives all have something else going with them.
Why isn't it changing when you mouse over it? That's weird.
Oh, because I've got the ace-7 selected.
Oh,
That's how it works. Okay. So
hey,
that's
can you mouse over 5-4 for a second.
Now, there's some element of that ace seven hearts betting because you're unblocking their backdoors, right? They're gonna call a flop C bet and fold versus a lot of turns. You can get value from that top pair, right? That's a
Yep,
thing.
that's also true. I thought of it more about my hand than about their hands, but I'm sure that your point is
Okay,
in there also. I think both of those are true.
understood.
Yeah. Not doing anything with this world
Yeah, makes sense.
to show them value. King, queen. So here you go with your aces. Ace has some showdown value if everybody checks forever. Kings and queens don't, so
Yeah.
that's the only, so that's where all these bets come from. Ace 10 is a freak.
Yeah,
Well, ace, no, sorry. Ace 10 does get something. The board can go, it can go out 8-9. You can be saved by that.
king 10, queen 10, more or less betting at the same frequency too.
Yeah, these are all the
Pretty
same.
much.
Yeah. Yeah. Same basic hand. Yeah, they just 55%, 67. Yeah, a little bit more.
Couple percent. Makes sense.
Okay, good enough. So he does that. And in reality, we got the check. He could have bet his combo at a more than 50. He was more than 50% he bet his combo. Going back to here, he's the king jack. So it's much more than his combo was the top pair. So his combo is spades. Mike.
Yeah, they actually do match. All three.
Yes, they do. There you go. You
No,
disrespect.
the diamonds and clubs are flipped.
Diamond clubs are flipped. 6 of diamonds. No, they're not. The order they came out is flipped.
Yeah, it's
7,
Oh,
6,
okay.
5. 7 of spades, 6 of diamonds, 5 of clubs. 7 of spades, 6 of diamonds, 5 of
Yeah.
clubs. You're objecting to the fact that DTO doesn't have the order of the flop.
I mean, that changes it.
No, it doesn't.
It
Well,
looks different when you look at it.
It looks different. Yes, you're
It's
right.
a change.
Got it.
You're disrespecting the tool. Okay, king jack, 70% bets. His spades, 71%. So he's not wrong, but not the selected thing. Here we go. He checks it behind. There we go. On the queen. I think this king 9 does not donk here. This is weird, but let's see.
Lead. He doesn't lead.
Does not lead. He does not lead. He does not probe.
Probe.
He does not lead. He does not stab. He does not probe. And
No fun.
Not
sorry.
to be too much of a stickler, I think there's some distinction between
Oh, you got
stabbing and
checked.
probing versus out of position and in position though, isn't there?
Is there?
I
don't know.
believe so. I think stabbing's in position, probing's out of position versus a
Yeah.
miss C bet on flop. Not that it really matters that much. Semantics.
There we go. All right. So bet size. Pot and 2-pot. So while the programmer limited his things, we're going to assume that the programmer knows poker and that these are good ideas. That if you're going to simplify, if you have to do a simplification, make your turn bets pot size.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, king 9 of diamonds, and that's pure check.
Pure check. You need the club to do it.
So what's the global betting frequency here on the big blind?
23%. So decent amount. The weird ones would be this ace queen, just to get ace king to fold. Who knows? Ace jack needs the club. Yeah, these are all your nut flushes.
Well, let's start with like,
Straight
I mean,
draw.
I don't know. I always find it useful to start with the value and then think about the bluff. So, I mean, so what's the top of the value range, bottom of the value range here that bets? Do all the sevens bet? No.
Well,
I-
the straight is checking a decent amount too.
You hold on one second, you guys. Cat. You have to look it up on your computer, go to keychain access. Okay, he doesn't need it. Okay, okay, good enough. All right, I'm back, you guys.
Start with the straight.
Okay, so your straights, your 8-9.
It's checking a high frequency with the straight even.
Yeah, but that's a protecting a range thing as opposed to a value betting thing, right? So I'm just trying to figure out, does two pair always value bet here?
No,
7-6, yes.
Six,
You know,
five, yes.
that sliver is there.
7-5, yes. So what, Joey, what two pair does not value bet?
This
no,
sliver
you
here,
said always.
Oh, well, okay. So interestingly, so top two pair checks back, but I mean, here I would say, simplifying heuristic, two pairs always betting, and the line starts showing up in
Yeah.
the top pair area.
I want to point out one thing. Take a look in the square where it tells us the percentages of bets without going to absolute frequency. It shows you the number of combos you have it. So 7-5 bets 100% of the time, and you never have it. You have two
Yeah,
combos
Have
of it,
twice, yeah.
two combos there.
7-6 is got more. No, not many, huh?
Now it's two combos.
Yeah.
0.3.
Cause they're
No.
all suited and two of the suits are taken up, so there's only two suit combos left.
Right. And of them, but the amount that you play it, this is what I mean, is you get to get this. Oh, 7-5 has got there. So you want to know how often you're checking this hand here.
Well, I'm really just looking for the border. I'm just sitting there saying what value bets here.
Right.
Bottom pair is not a value hand, right? So, I mean, you can see.
Bottom pair doesn't bet. Middle pair doesn't bet.
Yeah, I'm just looking for where the border is. I always, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but like the first thing I think is like, what's the bottom of my value range? And it's never perfect, right?
Right,
But
right.
in my case, it looks to me like if I look at just all the sevens, there it's also, that's not a hand that bets all the time, but like the two pair almost bets all the time. The sets almost bets all the time, if not does bet.
It looks like ace queen off is somewhere around the borderline.
That's a bluff.
You've also
a
got the
top pair.
5-4
You got a
suited,
queen.
but I
I'm
mean,
an idiot.
that's
Ace queen is
open-ended.
top pair.
Ace queen is top pair, right? We got a queen now. King queen doesn't.
Yeah, it looks like ace queen's top.
Oh yeah, I
is
was looking at the
borderline.
7. I was still looking at the flop. Yeah, so the queen, all of a sudden, once the queen comes in, it's not even betting all the queens. And again, that makes sense because you've got this is a scary board. It's now very wet, right? 7-6-5 with a backdoor flush draw becomes pretty wet. So you got to have a pretty good hand to bet, is what I'm saying, right?
Yes, yes. And LV Titan, yes, queen 9 is betting with top pair. It blocks the nuts, but it also has a draw to the nuts. So that 9 is very valuable. Whereas the jack, whereas the jack can't hit the nuts, the king, like that. So yep.
Is
The
5-4
eighth,
suited, same frequency across all combos?
no,
Oh, no.
So
No,
like the old
Makes
Josh,
sense though.
if I hit my queen on the turn, the old Josh would want to bet them all because I'm protecting against the flush draw and those straights that I haven't hit yet. And that's a bad way of thinking about it.
yes,
The better way to think about it is this is a very wet board. You're either behind or you could be behind on the river. Keep the pot small.
keep the pot small. The exceptions being some of your top pair top kicker and some of your top pair with a draw.
Right. And I think your top pair, top kicker, your ace queen, if you could mouse over that again.
Yep.
It seems to me that it's the same across all of them. Forget it.
Yes.
Just-
I don't care about suits. Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense for those bets. Here we go. We had a bet. We don't have a bet. This is the big blind we're in. The big blind did bet he bets small. This is
Yeah,
small.
so Scott, I mean, we don't have to do it now, but like the second half of that thought process is okay. So like noting that I've got kind of for me to start betting, it's going to be really strong hands. I might not want to bet all my draws either because there are too many draws. So then I would say, okay, which ones do I want to select?
Right, so let's take a look at that. Let's start with your flush draws.
Yeah.
100%, 100%, 100%, 100% plus the 8 gets in there with a pair. This is when you don't bet them. That's a flush draw, but it's top pairedness saves you.
Yeah, so you're short
Here's
of
an example where-
need to bluff it.
Yeah, so here's a clear example where marginal made is more important than the bluff,
Right.
right? This one, this one, this one.
Yeah,
Then we go
exactly. Isn't that interesting how it works? It works really well in this example.
Yeah, this example is pure Jonathan Little right here.
Like textbook. Yeah, you're right.
That's Jonathan Little. Top pair, top pair, top pair. You can't.
Same thing, right? In the king 8, which has none of that,
Right.
but it has a bunch of draws. That's
Big
it.
draw.
Combo
Big
draw.
draw 100%. King
Yeah.
9, not enough of a draw without the clubs. King 8, enough of a draw without the clubs.
So what about a naked straight draw, like ace 8 without a backdoor? Can you mouse over that one?
It's enough. It's enough to mix.
Ace, well, but it's checking a lot. Ace 8 of hearts,
Right.
checking all the time.
Hmm.
And ace
And
8
the, backdoors and the two backdoors that miss do some betting.
yeah, I don't even know how to look at, like, I look at ace 8 of spades and ace 8 of hearts there as basically they're checking. I see a little orange, yellow there, but you've got this, like, I don't know why there's a difference between ace 8 of spades and ace 8 of diamonds.
There's some element of like your opponent's range that would call flop bet, looking to make flush. Right.
Not called flop bet. This is checked around. It's
Oh,
the-
my mistake.
And
You know
since
what I mean? Like, that's like where my brain starts to hurt.
Okay, no, I see.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
it's going to have something to do with what the buttons betting range was, and I don't need to learn it now.
But I will
Okay.
say it is important to know that a naked straight draw, again, remember I said you can't bet all your bluffs because you don't have enough value. And this demonstrates that an example that is, for example, you're not betting an open-ended straight draw with just an 8.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
Also, I mean, oh, sorry.
And
Go ahead.
now, I'm just going to say, and now it is time to prove that we're not going to learn this. Look at ace 8 of hearts. Look at king 8 of hearts. And now move on with your life.
I won't forget what I was going to say because that theory's blown.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every
holding the king and not the ace increases the chances that your opponent is on the ace high draw that he wants to call down with, I suppose. But like
The one that he-
that's
yeah.
I'm surprised it has that much of an impact for king 8 to be betting 100% and ace 8 0%. That's kind of
Exactly.
weird.
Well, it does. I think the biggest takeaway is you don't have to feel compelled to bet all of your draws when
Right.
you don't have a lot of value. And I go
Right.
back to that. And the draws you pick are like the least important thing. It's not the most important thing.
Right. But the thing here that we are seeing is your bet every combo draw. A naked straight draw alone mixes. And if you said, I'm going to, never do it, how wrong would you be? Not very,
Mhm.
getting all the other ones in.
All right.
But yeah, you see this, and then the top pairs, I'm sorry, what's now second pair doesn't bet unless you have the draw. So second pair is not a made hand, is not marginally made anymore in our language.
Right.
This is because
So I don't know what our frequency
these are, no, I'm wrong. Look at this. Second pair with a big kicker is marginally made. You can check it. Second pair with a small kicker is not marginally made.
Yeah. And I think that makes sense.
And then the 8 already is so good that it's got to draw with it. Okay. So we only see this pure of a Jonathan Little rule way up here with the ace and the king. It starts to go away with the 10. The 9 is
May-
legitimately another
Yeah,
draw.
maybe they're starting to turn them into bluffs.
Well, no, and that's what we've been talking about, Joey, which is think about where your border is around, okay, what hand that like traditionally is considered made, i.e. second pair, is no longer made. And these are all semantics, but like the
Yeah.
border is second pair marginal kicker.
I'm gonna put absolute
Yeah.
on to see if that's what's doing it to us. Okay, this is good. This is good. This explains something.
Thank you for
Jonathan Little,
indulging me on that.
Jonathan Little approved. Jonathan Little approved. Who cares? You never have it for this one.
Yeah.
That's what that. Who cares?
Yeah.
9-7 now the draw nature is starting to overcome the marginal made nature because of the second draw, because it's two draw, it's a combo draw. So combo
Yeah.
draw plus marginally made. Now we're starting to see the combo draw being more important. Better
Yeah, now we're
combo
getting
draw,
kind of away from the abstract of it as well. It's a little bit more
Yeah.
textbook.
but this here gets weird because now better combo draw becomes more marginal made.
So it's interesting. 9-7 is interesting. 9-7
Well-
of clubs is particularly interesting because, you know, one of the other things you want to think about when you're putting money in the pot is if I hit my draw, what's the risk of me being dominated and losing anyway? And your 9-7 of clubs is at risk if the club comes in, but is not at risk, is not at huge risk, I should say, if
Right.
the 8 comes in.
Mhm.
Right.
And therefore, it's okay to put money in the pot there.
Yeah, I think that's a great
I know-
point.
Maybe also
Also-
having the turn as a queen is good because it's
The
blocking
ace seven
broadways.
of clubs has more value at this point than the 9-7 of clubs because it has 3 more outs.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. Okay, let's get out of that. So just very quickly on that same thing, ace 6, Jonathan Little approved, king 6, Jonathan Little approved, 9-6 starts to say that the extra straight draw lets us bet it. 8-6 similarly start to say that the extra straight draw moves into some betting. But if you simplified this to Jonathan Little's rule, you would not be wrong. 7-6.
But if you go roll over 8-6 one more time, it's pretty interesting that it's trying to keep the pot small when it has the club draw.
Right.
I think
here-
having the 6 is very key in that spot.
Right, here without the club draw, it's your 6, although marginally made, it's saying it's saying the 8 is more important than the 6. Without the clubs.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is my 6 doesn't really have showdown value.
Yeah, this is the violation of the simplified Jonathan Little rule. Okay, moving on.
Wait,
We got that.
you don't. I don't know if you can necessarily conclude that. Never mind. My thought wasn't going to complete right anyhow. Because I was going
Alright,
to say maybe that it's just looking at the ace 7 and ace 6 not being good bluffs where it can turn the 8-6 and 8-7 into bluffs.
Oh, that's
I think
a
it's
really
the
good point.
kicker that drives that. The fact of the matter is, you know, a 6 with an 8 kicker is not as strong as a 6 with an ace kicker. And therefore, I mean, I'm talking about a line where it's really just a shade of gray, but I'm saying the ace 6 is on the good side of the line, i.e. there's enough showdown value to just want to see the showdown, where the 8-6, there's not enough showdown to just want to see the showdown. So I'm more inclined to bluff it.
That ace 6 should have more equity than the ace 6 in this board, should it not?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
does.
it does.
The
Just gonna
point
have
is,
Ace
more
you
6
wanna-
has more
there's
equity.
a lot-
It's pure power.
You want to keep the pot small with an ace 6 so that your middle
Right.
pair top kicker.
And here's why I disagree with you on that. Look at
Okay.
your 9-6. 9-6,
Larry, no.
Oh yeah, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that
9-6 has still got the draw. Yeah. No, it's checking 9-6 often enough that it's comfortable with going with a 6. I
well, but
think.
again, maybe the 9 kicker is enough and the 8 kicker is not. And maybe that's the line.
All right.
You know what I mean?
That's the line. All right. Good enough. Oh, let's get back to here. All right, so now we bet. Low jack folds, and low jack is gonna do a lot of folding. Low jacks
No.
raises,
Low jack called.
no button called. Low jack called, low jack called. Low jack called. Yep, you're right, sorry. So low jack is the ace jack with a draw, and it calls, perfect. Great. Anybody want to, do we need to look at this any closer? I'm willing to just do it and move on.
Nah.
Okay, good enough. Because this
Yeah,
range
that's
looks, makes sense. I don't see anything crazy in this range. Sixes call. Well, let's take a second with it. You can't call with a 6 unless you have a flush draw. You can't call with a 7 unless you have a flush draw. You can call any queen. Over pairs call, you can raise a set.
I was
Pair-
about to say your queens are
Pair
folding
and a
up.
straight draw.
Folding.
You
19
can't
straight
call,
draw.
you can't call an underpair to the queen without a straight draw to go with it. That's good to know,
Why is king queen folding?
because it's not ace queen.
Apparently. Wow.
That's how tight you have to be.
I
don't think I'm gonna wait for king queen here.
no, I'd
Oh, you're
call
allowed to call.
king.
Every king queen combo has some calling, but their majority fold.
Yeah.
I mean, after checks around and the queen comes. Well, you know what? The flop was so dangerous, and then the big blind did bet, and
And the big blind did not bet any of his sets or anything because he checked range. So he's got all of his monsters left.
Yeah, well, so clearly you're right. because I'm just saying, I don't know. Honestly, does anybody fold king queen here?
Probably
Well-
not.
Look at that king queen of spades.
I was just gonna say this diamonds and the spade combo, like
All right, look at that difference, and move on without understanding.
exactly.
Agree with that. But to me, honestly, I think I could do okay in poker calling this once.
Yeah.
But
Yep. Well, you're not wrong.
It's solver approved.
It's not the perfect frequency, but you are not wrong.
yeah,
There's your calls.
It's in there.
I
But-
would have. If you asked me if that was never folding, I would say yes, and apparently I'm wrong.
Right, but look at these. This is the thing definitely to take away. Queen, jack, queen 10.
Well, yeah, okay, so like I can kind of see that.
Yeah. Definitely folding. And then queen 9 with a straight, your straight draw keeps you in.
Yeah,
King, queen, we talked about. Your sevens, a 7 is not enough, therefore a 6 is not enough, therefore a 5 is not enough. And moving on. Sets. Fours, it is a straight draw.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want it to come in, but it is a straight draw. Threes is a straight draw, but you're an idiot.
yeah. So the one thing I'll point out about the fours is it never raises because it wants to keep the pot small.
Right.
The only time that straight is good is when the pot's small.
Right. Okay. And so he does call. Also note, by the way, that king queen there that you didn't want to fold, Josh. Was it Josh who didn't want to fold the king queen?
Yeah.
It's a pot size bet.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right. Button's going to fold, and Button's range folds almost everything, calls almost nothing. He's really got to have a hand that's worth check raising. And that is all two. Go back to, here we go. Two pairs are enough. Bottom pair with a straight draw is a bluff. And you only bluff one combo of it. Set, set, set. Raising both of them with an 8, with the 8s. I don't want to do this. I definitely don't want to do this. I want to do this.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this. I'm definitely okay with this. I could live with that.
Yep.
Yeah, I could live with that. And then there, just the jack nine, yeah. But I do not want to do this raise here.
So I agree with you. The one thing I would say is, they do block the straights. So the likelihood that you're up against like ace seven, ace six, ace five that you win against is more likely because you block the straight.
No, the ace seven, ace six, ace five didn't bet. Oh, wait, the other guy's calling, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
because-
know. I don't do that either.
Yep.
I mean,
All
let's
right.
keep the pot small thing. Like, I don't know why you would do that. Why do you do that?
I don't want to do that.
It's a bet call, and you're facing a bet call.
And you're raising your one pair with a draw, one pair plus a draw.
So
One thing.
thought
Let's look at
process I've been using, I would say that the solver has determined the eights are no good, and it's turning it into a bluff, and I don't understand that.
It makes a good
well,
bluff.
it
It
goes
bluffs
with-
nuts.
Yep.
What's the global frequencies? Can you unmouse everything for a second?
Almost no calls.
Can you go to absolutes? I wonder how little of this we have.
Okay.
Well, we don't have anything. We're not here very often, so that's
Yeah.
interesting. We have 39 combos, and how many eights and nines do we have? 2 eights. One,
Yeah,
and
we have one combo total. That's how often we get here.
yeah.
Sevens we have almost not. Yeah, sevens there, the nines. Yeah. Nines have half a combo.
All right, so maybe that's what's going
Yeah,
on.
that's reasonable. Okay. So there's that. The button folds and the game is over. Okay. We had another multi-way hand here.
Yeah, but on this point, I'm gonna thank you, Scotty, for this awesome session. These are great, and take off because I gotta just like.
Yeah,
I mean,
agreed.
Go, bro.
Who was it who had another, somebody said they had
I've got
another-
one. I posted.
Okay, I'm ready. Let me stop sharing. Yeah, good.
Okay. Searching my spew filter. Let's see what I pulled up here. One sec. Bear with me. Okay, got it. Okay, so multi-way, out of position, broken stock.
Oh god.
Cut off, 28 bigs, RFI. I come in with the 3-bet. I size down slightly because of the broken stack. Normally I'd be going 8.1 here. Big blind calls. Cut off defends. So 3-bet pot, totally out of position, totally missed board. One of these spots that I run into all the time and I'm very, very uncomfortable with, but like 3-bet, C-bet, right? Cut off SPR is like exactly 1.0.
Mhm.
So I hit,
And
I
I've
check.
I've got one question for you here.
Yeah.
What kind of combos is our fish calling? And what kind of combos is our big blind flatting behind your 3-bet?
okay, so I mean, I don't have a whole, this is relatively early in the session here, I think, or these guys haven't been sitting here for too long. I mean, very, very wide. This guy's showing 58 VPIP over
Yeah.
24 hands, and that's 55 VPIP over 22 hands. I don't have very many reads beyond their VPIP. VPIP though. I don't have any specific notes on these guys at this time, so I'm kind of just playing against the raw ranges, and those are pretty
Mhm.
fishy numbers, right?
Yeah, they are fishy.
Okay.
I do not like this C-bet.
Okay, so and that's why I'm bringing it here, because it's like one of these spots where I'm so uncomfortable, where it's just like, I mean, I'm 3-betting out of position. I'm like, oh, it's just 3-betting and missing C-bets is something that I just feel like such a fish. But I'm like, I recognize that this is a very poorly played hand, so that's kind of why I'm bringing it here. So I am
Yeah,
all
I would
open-
check this. I would
all
check
open
this.
to hearing you shit
yeah.
all over what I've done here. Please do.
I mean,
Okay,
I think
first
you
of
get
all,
to bet a little bit with some more backdoor action, but I
Okay.
wouldn't choose this sizing.
Is this just like too, like I just do not have enough equity, just not enough range or just not enough interaction with this board with my specific combo at all in a multi-way spot?
For me, the more important thing is when I look at this board, I see a lot of interaction with these ranges.
Yep, I agree. I agree. Okay.
And so, I mean, who in higher than heaven knows what 3-bet flatting range behind is, but this looks a lot like, I think, there's a lot of interaction here, I think.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I don't like my C bet. Again, it's just one of those spots where it's like if I 3-bet pre, I'm like I feel an
Alright.
obligation to C bet, right? So
first,
So
I
here's-
wanna comment on
Go, Joey.
the 3-bet, C-bet. That used to always be the strategy.
Yeah. Okay.
But out of position, the solvers have shown us that that is no longer the optimal strategy.
okay.
3-bet, C-bet can sometimes work against the right villains as an exploit, but somebody who's too loose and is going to call too much, that's not the right person to try to exploit with a 3-bet, C-bet range.
Okay. No, that's a great point for sure.
And I want to throw two more things in here. 3-bet, C-bet, this may have been said already. Less true multi-way. That's more of a heads up rule than a multi-way rule.
Okay.
Second, multi-way, your default size is 7 big blinds here.
Okay. Now this
That's not-
broken
no.
stack screwed me up, right? Like
Yeah, also, I'm going to correct myself. What we've learned is that's true in a raise, call pot. We do not know that that's still true in a raise, call 3-bet pot. Because that's what the action pre-flop was, right?
yeah, okay. RFI, I 3-bet, call. Like that.
Oh, okay. Oh, so okay, gotcha. And then the big blind. So, but it's still, in this pot, we do not know that this is a 3-bet, C-bet. We don't know the sizing here.
Okay.
I'm going to take the stab and say that the 3-bet, that how we got to the multi-way is less important than the fact that it's multi-way. The fact that it's multi-way pushes this sizing down to 7. The fact that this board is locked up equity pushes the bet size down. So
Okay.
even with a broken stack, I think says bet size down.
Okay, so let's say I'm holding a combo here that is slam dunk C bet. I'm still just going like third pot 25 to 33% despite the broken stack here.
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like you could ignore the broken stack because
Okay,
they're
sure.
at an SPR of 1 here at the
Yeah.
beginning of the hand. So what matters is your whole stack at risk versus A7.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I
gonna
vaguely
mention-
recall making this bet here, expecting for big blind to fold out and probably maybe being in decent shape against this range here.
You're
but
not in
I
decent
don't
shape
like it.
against any calls.
No, I'm realizing this now. I know this is bad. So
I would also say, and I see this a lot, people get locked up with a broken stack and focus on the broken stack, but forget they're like 400 big blinds deep with the other players in the hand.
okay, sure.
Don't worry about the 21 big blind stack. Worry about the one that can stack you.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good
Because
point.
if you lose to a broken stack, so what? You lose one more bet. But if you lose to the big stack, you can lose your whole stack.
Okay. I gotcha. All right.
So now you've made a polarizing bet. So this
Yeah.
is where it gets interesting, right?
Yeah, and then the ace comes in, and what do I do here? I believe I just rip it here. Yeah, I rip it for an
no.
overbet. I know. Want to deny equity. I just want to fold out their draws. That's kind of, I believe, what I was thinking at the time.
But it's a
But this
lockdown board. You're
is-
not
It's
worried
going
about
to show us a
the
set
I-
here sometimes.
Yeah, no, I know it's very, very misplayed.
This is gonna go badly.
Yeah, so I just ripped it in, and I mean, I was ahead, but
You were.
he got there. So, but either
Were.
way, I still don't like my line. So,
You hit a mass.
pretty much misplayed on every street then.
No, pre-flop.
Yeah.
No, his sizing was
I'm
too,
guessing he had,
his sizing was too small pre-flop.
Or was it? Oh,
Yeah,
Even sizing down for, I mean, I know we just talked about the broken. I still should have, my normal sizing here is 8.1.
yeah, we'll
Okay.
go back to what his bet size was.
He was min raise, min RFI.
Alright, 6, 7,
yeah,
I think
eight.
your
8.5,
eight's even a little small.
8.5.
8.5. Okay. Yeah, so this is I mean, and these spots come up all the time. So something like this, just kind of check, realize where I'm at. There's locked up equity here. This is
And again, it's for the same reason. You don't want the big blind having more call. You're in a hand with a big blind with a 55 VPIP.
yeah.
To me, that's more important than trying to entice the small stack into the pot.
Okay, sure. Just want to check what time of day I played this hand at here. What was this? 2 a.m., something like that. That makes sense. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I thought that was valuable to look at because I mean those spots come up all the time. Multi-way 3-bet pots where it's just like you're out of position, you've totally missed. Feeling an
Yeah.
obligation to continue, but I'm trying to find the discipline to where I don't need to do that every time. So
these spots are very hard against guy who 3-bets behind you. Now you're out of position with the 3-bet
Mm.
flutter. It's incredibly
Now-
frustrating.
So once I make it to this turn here, I mean, like, and once I pick up this act, like, that's pretty slam dunk check, I would think, right?
Yes, I would check here.
Yeah.
Okay.
You may
Yeah,
even be check folding.
that's okay. And I was, yeah, okay. Realizing all of this after. I get into
What did
some
the
pretty
fish
wacky
call with?
ones. He had queen 9 offsuit, called the 3-bet pre.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, at least you know that 70% of the time you're going to be profitable here.
Mm.
And on that turn, you were certainly, if you had done the check through, you would be showing us this hand going, why did I let him get there?
Yeah, okay. Fair point.
That's-
Fair point.
That's the case.
Still not happy with how I played it, but I think it's valuable to look at.
I don't think we can't get any real insight into this hand with the solver. The only thing we can do is we can look at what ace king does on the turn multi-way there on that
Okay.
board. Have it. That seems like not a waste of time.
I
And
will say,
here, let's take a look at this.
okay, sorry.
Oh, that's fine. Go on, say.
I will say, King, I think that aggression does have lots of places in poker. It helps to be in position to apply aggression.
Yep, sure.
So the initial raise was the cutoff, right?
Yes, correct. Min
this is the-
sizing. He was
so we're gonna
28 of.
Right. So we're gonna do cutoff, and you were gonna put you in the button instead of the small blind, and we're gonna have you just calling because that just gets us multi-way.
Oh
Okay.
no, that will definitely not be the same.
No, it's not the same. I just want to see. I'm going to rush through. I just want to see with this board what it thinks of the ace if we have a board like this. So this
Yeah,
board
but
is
if we're in the button, it's
Yeah.
a big difference than being in the big blind or small
right.
blind.
But oh wait a minute, were we in the big blind?
I was
We're
small
in the
blind.
small
Oh.
blind.
We were in the small blind and we 3-bet and 3-bet
Correct.
is tremendously different, but it won't let me put us in the small blind
Okay.
with ace king.
I know,
So
but we could put us in the big blind.
we
because
don't
we
we don't have ace king in the big blind. We raise all of them 100%,
Oh,
I think.
yeah,
But
that
we'll look.
nothing we look at here is going to be relevant to the hand we just looked at.
I think you're right. What was the flop on the hand? If I can't find the flop, I'm done with this anyway.
We were Jack 9-8, Jack of Hearts, 8 of Hearts.
Now, wasn't there a gap? Yeah, Jack 9-8. Yeah.
Jack 9-8.
Jack Heart, 9 Club, 8 Heart.
Okay, here's the closest thing. Jack 10-8.
Okay.
We have a Jack 10-8. We're gonna check now and see that we do not have any ace king here. Yeah, so we can't get out of position.
Okay. Okay.
It's bad in every way.
Okay.
But we get check, 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 right? Oh no, it wasn't check. We check, check. We bet,
I see bet massive pot.
right? So we're in a completely different world. Let's see
Yeah.
if you have any C bet even with ace king. Your you should have. Oh, you don't have any ace king against the cutoff either.
Oh.
You don't have this, but when we go to relative, the sliver of ace king that you don't have,
I was
10.
club diamond here. Little sliver.
Yep, and it's the sliver club diamond, except club diamond not against the so you bet.
Yep.
Just gonna see how ace king reacts. The call is from both of them, right?
Correct.
Call, call. Now you get your
Ace
ace.
of diamonds.
Ace offsuit ace.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's we're on different suits here.
Yeah.
There's your offsuit ace.
Yeah,
And
that works out to be the same. More or
and
less.
broken stacks and everything. What does ace king think of this board now? Oh, it loves it.
It's gonna bet because it's in position.
It's in position. Yeah, it loves it. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
we're done.
Okay. That makes sense.
We're done. We learned nothing.
No, I learned something.
Okay.
I learned how to think about these types of spots
Okay.
a little
I
bit
mean, we
more.
learned nothing from the solver. That's what I
Fair
meant.
enough. Okay.
Okay. Do we have another hand?
I have one that might be kind of interesting.
All right, let's do it.
Not necessarily for me, but the
Yep.
flop and the hands that are involved might be kind of good to look
Okay.
at based on what we've been seeing. So
And while you're setting that up, LV Titan, welcome. Because if you three bet to a normal size, this was on your thing, the shorty might be more incentivized to shove on you, which is what you want most with ace king pre-flop, right? And then this cutoff open 2, small blind, 7.1, big blind call. We can't analyze this one, LV, because it's a three bet pot and DTO doesn't give us three bet pots to analyze in our three-way. Gotcha. Okay.
so this one could be cutoff button, possibly cutoff
Okay.
button, big blind,
Right.
based on this action. Right.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah, we'll
get to
call this cutoff.
here. And I thought it would be, because we've seen the gut shots and made hands and just some interesting dynamics here. Like if this 7-8
Right.
was a spade, diamond, or club, I'm curious on how this would play out. I think
Right.
as it looks, it's kind of going to play itself, but I'm wondering what happens here.
Yeah.
You want to see what happens. So he goes check, which DTO is going to do all the time, right?
Yep.
I think King
I think
Jack's
so.
just a straight up
Like that.
check there. So this 8-7 in position, if it was a club, spade, or diamond, I'm wondering how often it goes here.
Mhm.
I think I would bet it.
I think
Would
it's
you
a
even
pretty
bet
healthy
this
mix.
offsuit version?
Not this suit, but if it was a backdoor,
Yeah.
I would bet it. Cause it's got
And
backdoor,
then
backdoor and gut shot qualities.
Yeah, that
yep,
makes
yeah,
sense.
gut shot and backdoor flush. And then you've got your made hand here with a full house. The size is a little too big to determine what DTO is going to do, but
I think it just calls.
I mean,
We
when I'm big blind here, I have a lot of check raise bluffs on this board, but
Well, not in the middle, it almost always checks or just calls.
Yeah.
okay.
mhm.
Now it should go check, check.
That may
That's-
be a donking card.
I think you might
For
be
the
right,
big
Jay.
blind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think you're right.
But P7 should definitely check behind now.
And yeah, I agree with that too. Definitely should check. I
That's what we think.
think you're both right.
yeah, that's not a good bet.
Yeah.
And then river, of course, we know we can't do anything much, but
Yeah, and the problem is that so P7 is gonna check the river so much.
So how does
Maybe
5-5 get value on that river?
think he
Oh,
bets, I think he check raises. the turn.
Five can check raise the turn too.
Yeah, I think he check raises the turn.
Okay, okay.
You can lead the turn or check raise the turn.
Yeah.
Also, with the 10 of diamonds, you can lead the river too.
So there's not really any way for, okay, well, apart from, okay, so if turn goes check, check, the only real way for 5-5 to get value on this river is by leading.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
We're gonna,
You
We're
could
going-
potentially check the river. If it went check, check on the turn, you could potentially check the river looking to check raise, right?
I am never really doing that in population.
They're
it's
just
so
not
hard.
gonna bet
Sounds
enough.
great.
Right. No, I wouldn't either, but I think in theory it probably does it. I'm
In
thinking.
theory, it will do it some, but in population, I'm not expecting them to bet often enough for me to be able to check raise often enough.
Okay, that's why I'm asking, because I feel like I miss value in a lot of those spots when I'm out of position, but I'm just like wondering how much I need to be betting and how much I need to be like giving them rope to hang themselves with, you know?
So this one's cutoff button, big blind, right? that what-
Cut
yes,
off button,
'cause
big
it's
blind, yes.
Because it's hijack cutoff big blind. So we're gonna do cutoff button, big blind. And the flop is 995,
995 rainbow.
all right? 996,
996, close enough.
close enough.
Okay.
Okay. 996, we got pocket sixes. We check our pocket sixes. Because we check everything. The cutoff,
He checked.
right? And, oh, gotta do a check, of course. The cutoff has some bets here.
What did he have again?
Oh, it's
Seven.
king jack offsuit.
Oh yeah, that's almost pure checking.
But he does some
With-
crazy, he has some crazy bluffs on this.
Well, this
With
one,
the king of
with this
hearts.
board, the king of hearts and the jack of hearts are a backdoor flush draw.
Yep, that's what he has. That's a lot.
But
That's,
yeah, on our hand, there was no backdoors.
oh, it was rainbow?
Yeah.
We didn't have that rainbow though. So this is what we got. Okay. That'll change a little bit of something, nothing important.
But that's
Check.
good to know. But that is good to know here, right? Your backdoor hearts,
There's a little bit of betting.
a little bit of betting.
Here we
Yep.
go. A ton of betting here. Slow
As
plays
there
no
should be.
nines. Does not slow play quads. I'm always confused by this. What can they have at best?
Yes, agreed.
But this I got. I got all this. This is great. We're not gonna look at our reverse linear on the sets because it's not a sets board. Allow me to say wow. Wow. And wow. Backdoor straight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do have a backdoor straight here. Boy. Okay. And he did bet. He bet.
The flop, he did bet. He bet like 3/4. It's 2/3.
Now,
So
check raises from the big blind. We think we don't have a lot.
Let's keep getting lucky.
Let me get to mute land here for you guys. Zoom. Click. That's not
He
going.
actually has more than I thought. So 6-6 does have, but it mixes.
I mean, like, that's kind of a textbook board that I'm looking for any excuse to check raise on, but
Yeah, that's heads up.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. And I
Yeah.
do it heads up much more than multi-way, so I hear you.
Yeah, I see this a lot. People try to play heads up theory on a multi-way board and it
Yeah.
doesn't cross over 1-to-1 that neatly.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. Because the theory you learn is usually in
Yeah.
a heads up vacuum, and then you try to apply it to multi-way, but it doesn't function the same.
so there are enough raises here to consider. This is not well, no, 1/5 of the calls. If you simplified this, you wouldn't be crazy. So we'll do a quick overview of it. Your 9, your top pit, your trips mix. Your overpairs, you don't have.
I do a
Your
lot of calling
quads,
with trips
Here's your slow play quads.
on this board.
So his full house can do some raising. Majority is calling, but not a crazy raise from his full house. He chose the call, that's fine. And your bluffs here are your straight draws. Yep. Straight draws bluff, nines are your value that plays. Full house is your value that plays. Okay,
Roll over the 10-8. Okay, I thought the hearts would be, hearts are a little more, diamonds.
Yeah.
Clubs and the spades
Yes,
are
yes.
surprising.
yeah.
I'm
And we don't
surprised
have
that
the
10-8 heart doesn't have more.
And what was the question we had on backdoors? Because we do have, this board is two tones, so it's not the same, but there is that question. Do you need, it was, I was thinking straight draws. I said straight draws, with the backdoor check raise, bet pure this was on the flop. So we never looked at that. We'll look at, oh no, we are. Yeah, on the flop, it was what the button did. So very quickly that we didn't see that. Let's look. This was the one thing we wanted to see here. When we get to the button, what does he do with his backdoors? So straight draw, bets pure. We don't have a gut shot. No
4 or
eight.
5.
It's not a gut shot. We don't have a gut shot.
Okay,
All right, we're
you're right,
done.
it's not.
We can't find out. We will never know. Bets, this time he chose to call. And the cutoff folds. Now we get the, what of who?
It
One of
was
the
the 8 of diamonds is what it was, but so
eight of
the
diamonds,
8,
which is either
it's an
one,
offsuit.
Doing 8 of spades or clubs.
right? But I
Yeah.
think because of what it brought in a pair.
Yeah,
This
brought
makes
in a pair for the
yeah, we just can't
in-position
do it.
player.
It's what it is. Yeah, it's not great. Now. Donk the 6. Not donk, yeah, this is a donk.
Lead.
No, this is after a bet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is after a bet.
I
This is
still
a-
prefer calling it a lead.
Yeah, donk is an outdated term in my opinion, but
All right,
whatever.
outdated donk. I'm still using donk here.
Don't listen
The
to
other
me.
guy bet. The other guy bet. So I think
But
it's,
he does have
Oh, God.
have leads with the 8. I would have done it with the pocket 6s, but
he doesn't do his quads, does the new set.
And Joey, you would not have done it at pot size either, I'm sure, right? This is pot size.
Right.
oh no, after watching this, I would have done it at pot size because
Yeah.
I'm learning that most of the bets on the turn have been pot size.
I'm not entirely buying into the sizing scheme that we're seeing yet.
Straights don't do it. The new set does it. The old sets don't.
The
The new full house does it right out.
the
And
in this, the only time we saw a different sizing was when it went to the turn 3 ways.
it was check. And wasn't it also checked? It gave us the smaller sizing.
Now I think we saw one where it went bet call too.
Okay.
And but going to the turn 3 ways had a smaller sizing.
Okay.
That was, oh no, I remember that was because we had a check raise. The pot was considerably bigger. There was a bet raise.
Yeah,
Call,
it was
call.
it was Larry's hand, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll see more of those.
Mike-
Notice here, this is surprising to me. Your 10-8, which is marginally made. Here's an example where the draw value is beating its marginally made value and it bets. So this one violates our simple rule.
I don't
And the
think it
other
really
10
does after cutoff fold, does it?
Sure. He's bet it's, how would you describe this hand? Of 10-8 of hearts. This hand is now marginally made. It was a draw on the flop.
Marginally made, but substantial equity drawing to the
Yeah.
super nuts, right? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. That's what does it. You need the flush draw and the straight draw to do it, but it violates the thing that says that the pair value is more important than its draw value.
oh,
Here-
okay. I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
Here you see marginally made checks, all these. It's just this one violates it. Doesn't violate it 100%, but it does violate it.
Okay. I see what you're saying. My mistake.
Right. So in this case, we choose to check our full house. He bets his now hand that he's not supposed to, I'm sure. Let's see. As we go over here, his hand, stop doing that, you. There. Stop it. Show me
You could
everything.
have like something like sevens or something that would be kind of similar, right? Pocket sevens, or no, that would be a,
That'd be a full, okay, so what he has is, he has ace, 8-7. That's okay. It's 6, 7, 8, 9. He still doesn't have a straight.
but he's
So
got
he
a
has
pair.
Yeah, but that's the important thing is the guy did pick up a pair.
Oh, you said 8-7, not ace-7.
No, 8-7.
Yeah, right.
So draw continues to bet. Marginally made now doesn't. We thought this was a bad bet. And 8-7 doesn't do it, 6-7. This is the hand.
Yep.
So we think that's a bad bet. And the solver confirms that. Is any 6 betting? Only the full house. So yes. We were right on something, but he wasn't. And when he bets, right, because he did,
Hmm.
now do we ever call or do we always check raise?
To that size, I mean, you're just almost always calling, right?
Yeah, yeah, with that big, yeah. We don't. We continue to let him try, we continue to let him bluff. So that was the part that on against this size we were wrong. And by the way, half pot. No, pot. There's the pot there. Yep, pot. Okay. Good enough. Anybody else got a 3-way hand?
I've got another if you guys are interested. I actually knitted it up.
Good. And this will be our last one.
Okay. Thanks, guys. I will share my screen.
Oh, Scotty, before we go off of this real quick, while we have a little second to look.
Yeah.
Just go back and make this a 3-way going to the turn.
Okay.
To see the sizing options.
Sure.
Just to verify that my thinking on why it gave us different.
Yeah, let's see. So it goes.
We could just
check,
go check, check, check.
check. And do you want to go check, check, check to get there?
Yeah.
Let's do a check, check, check. There we go. And you get the ace of spades. Pot's $8, full size.
Okay, yeah, no.
Now let's do check, check, bet, call, call.
Joey, you know what I think it was? I think it's has to do with like stack to pot ratio when we get to the turn, whereas everything we've seen except for Larry's hand has all been pretty high. You know, the stack to pot ratio is still fairly high. Larry's hand, we were getting pretty low stack to
Yeah,
pot
'cause
ratio at
there
that
was
point.
there was a bet, call, check, raise, call, call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it gave us a half pot.
So the SPR is like 2.
And if that theory's right, I don't know what the threshold would be.
That's what it is. That's what it appears to be. Okay.
All right. So the question for me is, did I knit it up
Mhm.
here? And I'm curious what you guys think. And also if I should be betting here. So hijack. This is an open in poker coaching. I'm not sure if it is.
I like that open. I'm
Oh yeah,
with
it is.
I like-
hijack. I'm with that that's 100% open hijack in GTO Wizard.
Okay, cool. And so we get a very interesting flop here. And we're in position, so I think we get betting in position here. I'm curious what GTO says.
We can't get in position with GTO with this action.
Oh, you're right. Oh,
I,
bummer.
I would bet
ETO.
this.
Yeah. Yeah, so I bet,
Yeah,
I bet, I
but we know
choose to
it
go
bets it.
small.
We know it bets it. We've seen it.
And then we get this dumb raise, dumb check raise, multi-way. I think
Great,
we're not
just
doing anything
call.
with calling here, right?
Is it a
Yeah.
min click?
Yeah, it's a min click.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's a mid click. Yes, it is.
Perfect. This is great.
We now have a marginal hand. He polarizes. This guy doesn't matter. He has nothing left behind. So
Yeah.
I think our pot odds here are like 25%, and I think that I made a mistake.
I think I fold.
I call.
I call.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
if Joey calls, then I definitely shouldn't fold. This
Okay.
is Joey shows the most disciplined multi-way. This is definitely, I think, a call, and I made an error. I folded.
I was
Um,
thinking either fold or, well, I don't know if raise makes sense. Okay,
This
sorry,
guy's
we're-
repping. This guy's
go ahead.
repping either the turn straight or a set. So we fold, and of course, I wouldn't be bringing this in if we wouldn't have gotten there. And he shoves his stack into this tiny thing.
And does that guy call?
He did not.
Just
Okay,
that
what?
reeked of value to me. That reeked of like a set
Yeah,
multi-way
it's
you're on a
valid.
draw. I'm not really crazy about calling the 20, 30 big blinds.
I mean,
The other guy folded his 12 big blinds.
That's
we've seen in the DTO that even to pot size bets, the solver is calling at least the flush draws on the turn.
and what
and-
lines does it take when on missed flushes on rivers? Like I mean,
It
don't
doesn't.
know.
It doesn't have a river.
We don't have rivers.
solves.
oh, of course.
And this is not, so just want to point out one thing on this. This is not a naked flush draw that you have to call. First of all, the 77.95 has made your pot odds better, but has made the likelihood that you're up against the ace high flush draw worse. You're not drawing to the nuts, that's bad, but you have pair plus draw. A 6 could easily be an out. Might not be. You know, you can do this with hands other than sets, and you beat some 2 pairs.
Yeah, this is too nitty. This is
Yeah.
an error.
I see why you're saying it, but
If they're-
I still don't hate the fold. I
If
really
they're
don't.
betting
But I'm in
with
it.
2 pair, king is an out.
King is an out. Yeah, you still, as long, yeah. As long as you're not up against a set or a straight already, you've got 14 outs.
See, set and straight is kind of what small blind reeks of in this spot to me, and kind of why I don't mind getting out of the way here.
Well, yeah, but you're getting, well, your direct
Jack
odds
nine.
are 18%, but, well, not including, voting up on river for Sandy sets, but, you're in position, so you're gonna realize equity, which means your 25% pot odds here is good enough.
Yeah.
Out of
Yeah.
position, you can make an argument that you're gonna under realize if you hit flush.
Yeah.
But in position, you're going to realize your equity against a set, because the set's not gonna fold. Well, most people won't fold a set here if the heart comes.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Unless it's like the 10 of hearts.
I
The-
still
They
don't
can
hate
fold
the
10
fold
hearts.
though. I really don't. I
Yeah,
really
10 of hearts is
don't.
interesting. So the other thing to think about is threshold here. So I think I was partly feeling nitty because I wasn't drawing to the nuts. I think a king is a clear fold, clear call. I think, this was a blunder. The other question is, what about queen 9? Oh, well, we couldn't have that. What about queen jack of hearts? That's a clear call. What about
Yeah.
queen 10 of hearts?
Yes, yes.
Open-ended.
The,
Where,
I don't
where's
like
our, where's our cutoff? What if we
10,
have, do we
It's
ever have,
kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of foggy where to like actually pinpoint
9
the
of
cutoff in
hearts.
that spot, I think.
no,
jack 10 of hearts?
Like queen jack hearts, I'm looking
straight draw with the
maybe-
jack of hearts
Yeah,
is the problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what all the face card heart combinations we not only are we drawing to the flush draw, but we're also drawing to the either gut shot or an open ender.
Right,
Like queen
And every-
jack hearts here, I'm tempted to rip it.
yeah. I mean, Joey, here's my question. What if you had ace six of hearts here?
A6 of
At one
hearts.
chain.
That's
Ace
easy.
six, would you have called instantly with ace six of hearts?
Ace as in A.
Ace as an A.
Okay. Yeah, instant call with A6.
So
Yeah, I
your
would
only
call with ace
consideration-
six here.
Your only
Ace six,
consideration
I'm
was
calling
that
to the
you might-
nuts.
that you don't have the draw to the nuts.
Are you only calling with ace six hearts? You're not jamming at all?
No.
I'd be more tempted to jam than call personally.
So the issue with jamming here is that if he does possess flush draws that are semi-bluffing here, he very well may fold them out. I
And
mean,
players-
he's heavily value, right? But the
Yeah,
problem with
with-
jamming here is that you're only getting called by made hands.
Do you
No, the
not have
other-
enough
Never,
equity to?
he's folding any kind of semi bluffs. Well, the great majority of semi bluffs he has, he's gonna fold.
There's
Yeah.
another I'm against the jam here. Player 7795. He doesn't fold anything to your jam now,
Okay,
That's a good point. That's a
Right?
very good point.
and that's most of the pot.
Yeah,
That's all the
It's a
pots there.
protected pot.
Yeah, so why are you semi bluffing into a protected pot?
okay, no, that's a fair point. I think that kind of like makes me not mind folding turn even more. So, I mean, maybe I'm just a nit, but
Yeah, that's being real nitty to.
okay, okay.
I can see folding the I can see folding the king four here. You have a sliver, by the way, you open a sliver of king four suited in the hijack and the cutoff.
Maybe
King
king five and it's
four.
always opening.
I think it's probably cut off.
No, it's the hijack. Hijack
Oh,
has king.
wow. Okay.
I will now confirm that without showing it to you, therefore I can lie. But I know it.
Yeah, king five is an open, but then that's also a gut shot.
King four in the hijack is about 25%. I knew that one. Yeah, so you have king four here, no gut shot, right? Just the flush draw. I can see an argument of folding that,
Okay.
but once you have the pair and the flush draw, even though it's not the nut flush draw, I think it's just too much
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, this is, yeah, I'm gonna even put this in blunder mode.
with the
I
extra
think
money.
this is, I don't think this is close.
I don't think it's a terribly egregious blunder though.
Yeah.
Like it's not awful.
And I'm calling any ace of spade, even without any additional equity. I'm always calling an ace of hearts X here.
Okay, all right. So there's my disagreement. Folding the king of hearts X, I'm okay with. Folding it with king of hearts and a pair, I'm against, and then calling all the ace of hearts. That seems reasonable.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's a good way to look at this. Yeah, we just
And-
have too much equity. I mean, and the pot odds aren't egregious, right? It's 25%.
And we can't get an answer from,
King-
we can't get a solver
King
answer.
10 of hearts is
Henry?
easy call.
Yeah, I like a
Yeah,
call
yeah.
with king 10.
Yeah,
Yeah,
anything, yeah,
agreed.
Because
anything,
you
a
have a
gut shot,
straight draw and a flush draw.
exactly. Anything that gives you more outs. The pair, not that the pairs gives you value. You're not winning with your six. But any additional outs, and the six gives you 5 more outs.
What about king five where it's a gut shot to the dummy end?
You shut up. You shut up your whore mouth.
No, seriously. No, is that better
No,
than?
seriously, I know. I don't know.
No, I may still call king 5 because it's a king high flush is still pretty high.
Yeah.
You're
Uh,
not. You're not going. I know people are afraid of being against the ace high flush. However, all 4 hearts are already on the board.
Yeah, I'm not scared of an ace
So
high
they
flush
need
here.
to have the ace of hearts plus a 6th heart.
It's very unlikely.
I mean, it's possible, but I don't think you're going to see it as often as I think some people are afraid they're going to see it.
In a
There's also-
tournament, you're never gonna see it. Like never.
Yeah, there's another thing here. When he has the ace X of hearts here, you both heavily block a heart coming on the river, so you don't get there that often. To answer your king five of hearts story, I think king five of hearts is king four of hearts now that I look at it, because the 10 is so well represented in their ranges. So I don't think
I don't
I
see a
don't think the
huge
gut shot really is additional equity there. So if you're
No,
folding,
it's not.
if you're folding king four, I think you fold king five. If you're calling king four, you call king five.
And to that point, I don't really see a huge difference between king six and king five and king six and king four in that spot when you have this jack and the nine
Are you
with the
looking
small
for
blind
Tourette's?
range.
Yes,
I was just gonna say you're spelling it way wrong.
Thanks.
you got it now. But it's good to know what a turret is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think this is, yeah, yeah, it's a blunder.
I don't think it's as bad as you think it is, though.
I do. I think he's. I'm not trying to criticize his play, but I don't think you fold there, especially if the other player already called.
All right. Cool, you guys. Excellent. To anybody who's on YouTube and went to the end of this video, get a
Is there a
like,
prize?
right? There's a prize, or come join us and participate. We do this every Monday, and Tuesday it's available on Discord. All right.
All right.
Bye,
See you guys.
y'all.
Thanks,
See ya on-
guys.
Thanks
Thanks.
a lot.
Next week.
Good.
I really appreciate these sessions. It's amazing.
Good,
See you,
good.
I have one tip.
Yes.
Buy a standing desk and a treadmill. I just got mine delivered today
Ah,
because I think I spent too much time indoors watching screens. So
that is a
I'm
good
indoor
exploit.
watching screens doing exercise. So
Great idea. All right. Bye, y'all.